Ayo, hello, fantastics. It's Mr. Clintastik here with my boy Samaj. We're about to do a set review.
What's
How you doing, Samaj?
what's up? What's up?
Yes,
I'm good, man.
sir.
I'm good. I'm excited. These cars look crazy.
Right. Takir Dragonstorm is what we're on. Um, let's get right into it. So, the first card we have here is Betor Kin to All. It's a 5 mana, 2 generic, white, black, green card. Legendary creature, Spirit Dragon with flying. It's a 5/7. At the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater, untap each creature you control. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life rounded up. Okay, so once again, this is a limited set review. I'm gonna be focusing kind of on draft and sealed. Primarily, we might make mentions for constructed or yeah, constructed as far as standard or what's it called, commander. But for the most part, we're gonna be focusing on sealed and draft. So what's your initial thoughts on Betor Kenta All, Samaj? Uh,
Looking at them like so for limited, I'm like cool 5/7 beater. With the potential to possibly draw you card in limited. You're not going to see any real um look at the other abilities. The 20 and 40 is just highly unlikely that you reach that level of toughness. And maybe I'm wrong about it, 'cause, this set does have a lot of I guess you can say tough creatures as far as their their defense goes, but I just don't see 20 or 40 actually matter. Maybe cool and commander to run this guy's commander and try to get the 40, deal half the damage, but I don't even think that's like a really cool payoff for reaching the 40 defense thing, but that's just me. I mean, nice 5/7 beater though. If you do pull this guy and limit it, so get him in there, get him in the sky, and make him pretty tough to get out and possibly draw a card, but wouldn't be my favorite.
okay, for sure. I kind of share your sentiments on that card. Uh, 5 mana for a 5/7 flying guy is not bad, but there's a lot of keywords that could have been tacked to this card that I think would have been great. Even vigilance, Um, it seems like a lot of words that's not going to help you in the limited format. So 1 out of 5, what would you kind of rate this card for limited? Like if you're pack one, pick one. You're not going for just mythics to have mythics. You're actually trying to make a cohesive build. What would you rate this card?
Yeah, to uh, without having a super good understanding of the rest of the evidence, and I say like first look, I'm like, okay, cool. This is like a 2 out of 5, maybe 2.5 out of 5. This is just my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm no pro or anything, but I just don't see it living up to the hype. Like I feel like I'm going to play this. I'm going to hope and pray that I have another decently tough creature on the field so I can take advantage of that draw card. But other than that, yeah, 5/7 flying beater for 2.5.
For sure. You say 2.5?
I mean, five mana is nice. 2.5 in that range, like because like I said, for the mana, the toughness with the evasion, I'm like, oh, that's a nice beater. Yeah, I'd use that, but it ties me into 3 colors off real. Uh, the payoff isn't super great to be tied into all 3 of those colors. Yeah, 2.5.
Okay. So for anyone watching, we are doing the rankings on a 5 point scale. And we're going to try to keep these things in mind this season as we try to do a variety of drafts or whatnot. So we got a spreadsheet going. We might share this to the Discord or something in the future. But I think it'd be fun to have me and Plagues, well, Samaj's uh, assessments compared, later on. Me, I would probably get this card a one. I wouldn't pick this card like immediately myself, just because it is three colors, and I might not even get a chance to play it. eh, Versus a common that's one or two mana that's going to be consistent and highly played. So for me, I probably would give this a one. And the only reason I wouldn't give this a zero is because it's definitely playable. But as far as pick rating and order, I wouldn't pick this highly myself. So, but I'm sure for you, somebody, you probably be able to make this an engine. You'd probably like. I call people big brain players when they can see a card like this and be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna draw cards off of this pretty much every game, and I'm gonna play this on turn pretty much turn four every game by having ways to either mill it, get it back from the yard to my hand, mill it, get it back to the graveyard to the battlefield, or tutor it up or somehow. Whereas I'm thinking more just beeline strategy. Let's like, okay, cool. Let's just drive this on to the finish line.
And yeah, like don't get me wrong, I can see where it can be beneficial, especially as you go down this list and you start to see the toughness of some of these creatures. It's like, oh, okay, I'm like, okay, cool, I can see where you'd be beneficial, but like I said, a lot of the sentiments you have about being tied into three colors, like those are things I see that are wrong with them. It's like, going into three colors for an ability that I may never get to see does not sound fun, but
Right,
a 5/7 beater with the potential to draw your card every turn. As obviously you have to have a second card or buff him in some way to get to that 10 toughness. But okay, I'm like, all right, cool. That's why I didn't give it a
Okay,
one.
I'm like,
I
all
was
right,
like,
cool. That's why.
for sure, for
I was like,
sure.
yeah, like I'll let it rock.
All right. You can. Dang, it's making me sign into everything. You can find Mr. Clintastik on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Pretty much just by putting in Mr. Dot Clintastic. But I will be sharing some links in the chat and probably posting them here on the page when we get a minute or on the next stream. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's move on to the next card. We got Shiko, Paragon of the Way. It's a five mana, two generic, blue, red, and white, Jeskai color, legendary creature spirit dragon. Flying Vigilance. When it enters, exile target non-land card with mana value three or less from your yard. Copy it. Then you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. It's a 4/5. So I'll start this
Yeah,
one off. If you don't mind.
for sure. No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I do like that it has vigilance, on a 4/5 body. Um, but to a certain degree, if this is going to be the chain of play, I guess to a certain degree, um, I don't know. Five mana for a 4/5 flying vigilant is solid in a monocolor. Making it three colors is difficult. Now this doesn't say until end of turn, so am I to guess that this is indefinitely as long as this creature's on the board, or what if this creature leaves the board? Do I still have that ability? Oh no, it says without paying mana cost.
Yeah,
So this card
I
actually
think
goes way up for me because it ETBs does stuff and then it has solid stats to pair with it.
yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, this card is ranked way higher on the Dragons for me. On like just the ability to get any card for three from my graveyard. It gives it a lot of versatility as opposed to it being forced to be a singular or specific target like artifact or creature or whatever. I truly can go like, oh, well, there's an answer you got rid of earlier. I saw was incredibly problematic. Obviously, it has the caveat of it having to be three mana, but I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'm not upset at all. Like, absolutely. I'll pay. I'll drop five, get my 4/5 flying vigilance, so healthy attacker, healthy blocker, and then I will get something for free from the yard. If I need another creature, I will get a three drop. Sure, I'll go grab that. If I need an artifact that was problematic, I'll grab that. Remove a spell in there. I'm gonna go grab that.
I agree. I was reading it as if, like I mentioned to you the other day, as far as like having like s- just kind of set overlap from previous sets. I was almost reading this like, okay, cool, you had until end of turn or until the end of next turn to do it like a red kind of ability, but being able to pay
Mhm.
it without paying its mana cost is really valuable. Finding out what spells we have, especially at the common level, that's going to pair well with this, because there's any kind of bounce effects that starts letting you do this basically for free or something like that, it's going to get crazy. So yeah, I think this actually goes up way higher for me versus the first one. The first one's a draw engine, but what you got to do, wait to end the turn. Then those conditions are pretty hard to fulfill. Where this condition is simply have something that you already found valuable in the first place to have already played or went to the yard, and you get to get it back for free.
Absolutely, absolutely. I wonder what's the timing on it. Like, obviously, I need to. I'll probably need to. I'm going to show how much of a noob I am because I need to ask this question. But when you copy it, how long do you have to cast it? Is it copy an instant? Isn't it instant speed? Like, don't you have to cast it right then? So you have to either like accept or decline. I guess if you were playing on arena,
So I guess
or
that's the original question I had. Like, what is what's the parameters here? Like, how
yeah, I think
long before I get to not be able to play that spell? Is it like only when I play this? Like I have to do it right then. If I miss that window, that's what I would guess. If I miss that window of playing it right there, I don't get to play it.
whereas I think once you enter, you immediately exile the target. So that goes on the stack, right? So one, they gotta let him enter. You get to exile a target non-land card, then you get to cast it or copy it and then cast it for free. So I assume it's instant. Like so as soon as you exile it, the card gets copied, and now you have to choose to cast the copy or not.
Right. That would
So
be my assumption
yeah, but I still, yeah, car still has a fairly high rating for me. It's definitely gonna go above probably like a three, like three five, yeah, 3.5,
I could
because that's
see
nice.
I could see that being a 3.5 as well, to be quite honest.
That's just that's
And
the solid stat. It's nothing like obviously same caveats. It's the first dragon. All the dragons gonna have this caveat. You know, the forcing you into three colors immediately or two colors and splash so you can make sure you're able to play it. But yeah, that's nice. That's nice. If you get the support for it, it's crazy. And without the support for it, if you got the colors, it's nice.
for sure. I should have put my glasses on. I'm gonna get them in a minute. Okay, I think we both agree on this one being like a 3.5. And then honestly, I personally think it might go up based off of what cards are in the set and what colors are good. So if Jeskai is really good, this could easily jump by a whole point and go up to a 4.5 or a 5.0 if white, red, blue is the place to be.
Right, right.
All right, let's get on to this next one. Right now, we're just kind of there's so many multicolored cards. We're just kind of going over this first little line of multicolored cards, and then we'll probably drop into some monocolored. All right, so
Okay.
next we have Teval, Arbiter of Virtue. It's 5 mana, 2 generic, black, green, blue. Legendary creature, spirit dragon, flying lifelink. Spells you cast have delve, and that means each card you exile from your graveyard while casting those spells pays for 1 mana, 1 generic. And whenever you cast a spell, you lose life equal to its mana value. Ooh, it's a 6/6.
I don't like this card. So I know it's nice, right? The flying life link, the life link will mitigate a lot of the. It's supposed to mitigate a lot of the damage you use from casting a spell. While the cards in your graveyard are supposed to help you cast those spells for even cheaper, so that it's like, okay, cool. I can get out these big spells for cheap, lose the life, gain the life back. So it's like this give and take type deal. I don't like it. I know that's just my personal opinion. I'm not a big fan of the fact that this car has zero protection whatsoever. Outside of the fact that it's in the color blue, so I play something for all my mana, right? Like, oh, I play a 5 drop, a 6 drop, or whatever, that you would play for this. Sure, I get to decrease it by one or two colorless, but oh well, I blow that up now, and you still lose life because I cast the spell. Like, I still lose the life just for casting the spell. Like, I see, it entering. I'm not a fan.
I'm not a
Like,
fan of
off
it
rip.
either. Um, black, green, blue, flying lifelink. Now, if this had delve on it, like say I can make this 3 mana 6/6 with the same ability. Cool,
Mm.
I'm not saying it should be just a 3 mana, but having the delve ability on the card itself, I think would have made it a lot more viable, especially for limited. Flying
Not only,
like, huh?
how I say, not only that, just the fact that there's truly no way to get around that life loss. Like, it's like, oh, as soon as I decide I want to do it, I lose life, and no matter how much I decrease the cost of the spell, it's like I'm still losing the full value of the spell in life. So obviously, it's like a cool little to keep it on a leash. Like, oh, hey, you can't just combo off and just be dropping spell to spell because you got enough cards in the graveyard. But I'm also like, the things I would want to use this for is like big spells. That's what I want to
Right.
play with our Dale. So it's like Dale for cantrips, if you will. These will be great commander cards, though. Like, all these Dragon Runners are gonna be great commander cards, but in limited, um,
For
this
sure.
is my this is my one.
I would give it a one as well. Uh, eh, and it's a little disrespectful to the Betor, but to be honest, these are both dragons that when I'm drafting or even when I'm finding my seal pool, I'm not going to be overly excited to play. They're going to be essentially 5 mana difficult to play dragons with maybe a
Mm-hmm.
little upside.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Going on to Narev, Heart of the Storm. It is 4 mana, one generic, a red, white, and black, Mardu color, legendary creature, spirit dragon with flying. If a creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, it deals twice that much damage instead. It's a 4/5. So
I love it.
there's a commander, I think, or a card in commander. It's like a Golo card or something like that, Goro maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe it gives things haste, and whenever a creature with haste deals damage to an opponent, I believe you make a dragon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I could see this fitting somewhere, like in a hasty boy deck.
Yeah, I think it's.
Uh,
And while I haven't seen all the creatures cards yet for this set, I feel like there's gonna be a bunch of hasty boys to make that effect. Be nice. All Rip has a higher rating than most of these cards for being a 4 drop as opposed to a 5 drop or
right,
the 8 drop we see to the right.
right.
Um, and it still has the same stat line without the vigilance of the 5 drop Jeskai. So, like, literally just another 4/5 flying that turns your hasty boys into essentially uh,
Double
double
strikes.
strike, if you yeah, double strikes, if you will. So I like this guy much more. Like, with someone who has the ability to enable haste, kind of like we saw in the season last season, last set before last. Uh, that's gonna make this card like truly crazy, even in limited. Like, I'll say it. Like, I think in limit, that's nasty. There's enough haste enablers or uh, haste cards.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many haste cards are in the set. But like you said, even with it being 1 mana less and being a 4/5 still with flying, it at least takes it to a 2 for me, at the very least. It gets
Fact,
better if I see or know that I'm able to pull the haste deck together. Otherwise, it's a 4 mana difficult to play 4/5 dragon. I'm just like, I wish they would kind of keep these things in mind for limited because they made the hybrid colored cards in this set. I think these cards, these dragons, could have really benefited off of being more of a hybrid color spectrum. I know they were going with specific color trios, but they could have kept the color trios and made them hybrid. Just a little thought. So what would you give this card here? Oh, he might have had to get off mic real quick.
My fault. I did get off mic for a second there. But this card is kind of really on my spectrum of play as far as things I like. So I do have a biased opinion on it. I'm just like, no, this is nasty. Nice little four drop right in the pocket range to show up at a time where it's like, yeah, we both had time to do stuff, but this is actually nasty. And I'm not gonna lie, I cheated and scrolled down a little bit just to see if there were some hasty boys in the colors, and there are. So I'm like, I like it. I'd give it a 2.5, and with the possibility of becoming a three, depending on how much the set is going on. And I think that's like unfair. But I personally like the card, so I probably will play with it at some point. I think
Okay,
in limited, I think in limited, you're right though. With it requiring so much of what's available, it might be less effective. Like I said, a four drop hard to cast dragon, but I ain't quite the fan.
for sure. Nothing wrong with being a fan of the card, and I would think this is another one of those big brain type situations. If there's a player that already knows, like, hey man, I'm gonna draw a hasty deck, you're not gonna stop me, and I'm gonna have some recursion and all the stuff I need, first strike, all kinds of stuff. They're gonna obliterate somebody. But me, man, I'd be juggling this around like I'm in the circus. I would make it look bad. So I'm gonna give it a one myself, but you said a 2.5.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm putting it. It's just like I can see the upside of it so much. One drop, hasty boy doubles the damage. Yeah, that's just nice.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Now I will say that it's it does become kind of useful outside of making hasty boys fun. So it really has to be oriented around it. So with that in mind, because just me sitting here, just continuously thinking about the card, I may drop it to a two. I may drop it to a two because outside of them having haste, and they have to enter their turn, and that's one the caveat. I was like, that does change things. I was just thinking about having haste and being able to attack.
Right, right. Okay. So you hold on, it's giving me Excel is giving me grief for some reason. There we go. So I still give it did I say two? Yeah, I said two. We both giving it a two. All right. And moving on to I don't know how they want to say it. Urini? Yeah, I'm gonna keep
I,
it there.
your Rennie sounds right. Your Rennie, the song Unending.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that sounds right.
It's a 8 mana, 5 generic, green, blue, red, teamer color, legendary creature, spirit dragon, flying, protection from white and black, and when it enters, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or players and or planeswalkers your opponents control, where X is number of lands you control. It's a 10/10. What do you think?
That's a bomb.
You said
That's
it's
a
a
team of
bomb?
bomb. That's
Really?
too. It's really expensive. Like let me hit. It's really expensive.
Okay.
But having the ability to enter, right? Even if you just played it at eight, and that's assuming you got it at eight. You built it to get up to that point to play. Say you got it when you got exactly 8 mana. Like the ability to play with 10/10, have protection from the main colors that have removal spells that will be able to deal with something like this. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
oh, the instant removal spells have to have absolute protection from it and deal extent that so eight, which use eight for the example. I can 4/4 something, I can 4U for something, I can 2/2 something, any number, right? So that's just and and if you're going teamer, right? If you're in the teamer colors, that's a bomb to have. That's a
Okay.
bomb. That I enter the battlefield, I blow something up. Any one of the other dragons die by the time you can play this guy. Like if you have a mana rock, sure that decreases that, but I don't think any one of them go above seven. So if you even have at least seven lands, you're blowing up any one of the other dragons, pretty much any one of the other remaining creatures in this, say give or take one or two. and you're a 10/10 flyer with protection from white and black. So if you don't have the right colors, you just can't mess with me at all.
I feel. Um, for me, it's just too expensive. And
No, and I get that.
if
I
I'm
knew
in
that.
limited and I'm having to play an 8 mana card, it has to be a really, really, really slow limited, or I know in my heart of hearts like, hey man, I got 3 4 of these ramp cards. I'm gonna always ramp on turn 3 and always ramp on turn 4. Maybe get this card out on turn 6. Then you kind of got something on your hands. But you see how much work I feel like is necessary to make it kind of go off
I big feel 8 is a tall order, especially in limited. No one's trying to wait till turn 8. But in those mid to stally games, it's just like that's a bomb. Like I don't think like I 8 drop 10/10 smack somebody for 8.
for sure.
Like eight to the face on the body.
So what are you ranking this card here?
Uh, so with the with
Ooh,
the colors in mind, with the colors in mind, green already been part of it, so I know I can rap. I don't know. I have to say this probably goes into my for limited. This probably goes into my 2 5 3 spot
okay.
because that's nasty. And I know it's probably crazy. People are like, "Wow, this guy is ridiculous. Like, why would he give this high costing car such a high rating?" But I'm just like, hey,
What are you saying it was? I Man, how about
2 point.
I was on a frozen screen for a hot minute, so I just got it back in order.
I got you. I got you. I was saying I would probably give it a 2.5 or 3, just because it does have the ability to change a game so effectively. Once it hits the board, it's like, oh, I'm going to take out something, I'm going to kill something at the very least, or I'm going to pop you in the face for all that damage. And I'm a 10/10 that avoids spot removal. Like it just avoids spot removal. You have to have some sort of red, uh, red or green big body fight spell to take me out of there. Or
Right.
like maybe a green, they bring out what's the green flying destroy card? Broken wings. So there's a
Yeah,
broken
yeah,
wings in this set, maybe. But outside of that, yeah, no, you don't have anything that you can really do to me. So you
for
have
sure.
to have an answer.
So I'm gonna assume you're gonna take it to the 3.0. Got to go and round it up. I'm
Yeah,
gonna still
yeah,
give it a 1. I,
that's fair. That's fair.
and it's not no disrespect to the cards themselves. Overall, if this was just okay, we're talking about Commander in general. I think these are great cards that people are gonna find and be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have some fun building around this card here. But for limited, I'm like, man, excuse me. You want me to do backflips to play my cards?
No, you're right. 8 mana out of usually what you're running like a 16, 17 mana build is a tall order. It's a tall order. So I understand your viewpoint on it. But if you just give me a few seconds, I gotta step away for just a few seconds.
For sure, no problem. While he's away, I'm working on some background things. I didn't realize I had the whole screen freaking out of sorts here. There we go. That's where I want it. Easier to see. And yeah, Betor. If creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. I think the first ability is going to be the easiest one to hit. You play this for 5 mana. It's a 5/7. If you have something with 3 toughness on the board, end of your turn, you're going to start drawing a card. So you played a 5 mana 5/7 that drew your card essentially. Is it enough to win the game? I mean, you got a 5/7 beater. If they have no flyers in the air, that's for sure. You're winning the game because what, 4 turn kill. I guess that's something to consider. Maybe I should give this like a 1.5. A 5.7 is not bad. I don't know. 4.5 is a what? A 5 turn clock. So stat stat wise alone. Okay, if we go off stats, Bator can if you're able to get Bator to the field, you win in 4 turns. If it runs unopposed, they have nothing to counter with as far as blockers. Your Ranny, you get it on the board, they're typically gonna die in 2 turns. I'm gonna give your Ranny a 1.5. I'm gonna give both of these a better rating. And it's not necessarily because of the ability or the mana cost, it's about their power. The power is really high for the creature itself, and if the creature goes unanswered to a certain degree, in addition to their ability, it just ends the game really, really quick.
All right, what we're talking about here?
Oh, I went and added point 0.5 to both cards, Betor and Urini. I was just doing some math, and I was like, so essentially, Betor, if you get it on the board at that 5 mana cost, it's gonna win in what 4 turns. It's a 5/7. If you get that Urini on the board, it's gonna win in 2 turns. Granted, there's a lot of hoops to get these cards to the board. Power alone is pretty good. Even Taval, it's pretty much there with the other card, Betor. You get it on the board, 4 turns, they're done. They're done, and you got the life link going with it.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna put that at point 0.5 higher. Like I said, depending on I have to see the mana and whatnot. If these cards start becoming playable, I don't mind giving them a little bit of bump, but they're still not like my first picks. All right, we're gonna keep on going. We got Perination. It's 6 mana, 3 generic, white, black, and green. Abzan colors. It's a sorcery, mythic. Return target permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield with a hexproof counter and an indestructible counter on it.
Mm.
Sheesh.
Mm.
This is what I'm
Am I
saying.
am I tripping in assuming that that just makes a creature like, all right, it's alive for the rest of the game?
They would have to exile all permanents
It have to exile or mass bounce.
or make the opponent sacrifice.
Hmm. Hmm.
This card is probably gonna blow me out in too many situations. Me, say I first pick this card, never get to play it, never even see it in the draft. And if I do see it, guess what? My opponent done oh, Halo Ivy. But yeah, I play this and my opponent done exiled my whole graveyard. So I'm gonna give this the rating I think it deserves. I think this is a 3.5, 4.0 card, even though player ability wise, I'll probably play this at a 2.0. I'm just not gonna play it that well with the style that I play.
Yeah, this is a four card. This is a four for sure. This is a great return with upside. Like, oh hey, especially in limited, like I feel like regardless of what's going on, it forces them to have very specific answers to a like growing problem, especially if you put on something that has like death touch or flying or something that already had like a keyword ability. This is just gonna get it two more.
Right. Okay. I think that's easy. Like just an easy one. Like this is just good. you know. And although it does have like kind of a difficult card to play as far as color wise and being 6 mana, the fact that it has so many options, you get to play this as you please. If you want to mill stuff into the yard, you can. If you want to pay a cost to discard, put it in the yard, you can. Wait the late game, and then the value it gives at that point If any of these dragons came in with a hexproof and indestructible counter on there, they'd be 5.0s. No questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just boom. Oh, okay. It's hexproof and indestructible too. Oh, boom. So yeah.
And my thing is like it's in the color that this card is in, like black, green. They're just bound to be some really nasty cards you can bring back with this that really make use of a hexproof and indestructible counter. And it's just my I truly believe that.
Right, right. Especially if you, say you get something with like life link or something like that. Death touch. Any just good keyword is gonna go crazy with this. Flying, menace, all the stuff.
Right, hold on one second.
For sure, for sure. I'm actually updating some of the profiles. Like I mentioned to everyone, I'm currently streaming on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Mr. Clintastik. If you're here, you're probably already watching here. If you're not here, you're probably watching on YouTube or Facebook. So yeah, go follow me on Twitch. That's where I'm primarily be streaming a lot of my content, and then moving it over to the other platforms once I get it edited. Trying to add some photos to the page now, to the Facebook page. Takir Dragonstorm got a beautiful, nice little cover from MTG there. It doesn't want to upload. Hmm. All right, I'll fix that later. For now, we're just going to continue, and I'll give my thoughts on the cards, and then we can get Samaj's input if and when he comes back. Next, we have Jeskai's Revelation. It is a 7 mana, 4 generic, blue, red, white, Jeskai color instant, mythic, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. Jeskai Revelation deals 4 damage to any target. You also create 2/1/1 white monk creature tokens with prowess. You draw 2 cards and gain 4 life. Well, I'm just going to go on and put a 5.0 for that one. What? Like, actual what? Why? The card's too good. First off, I know it's 7 mana. I know it's 7 mana. I know. It can return a target spell or permanent, so you can hold it up to counter a spell or just bounce something really good. And that bounce comes attached to all the stuff. You bounce something that's too big for you to kill. You kill something within range of killing, or just deal 4 damage to the face to the opponent. You create 2 creatures with prowess, and you draw 2 cards, and you gain 4 life. What? What more can you ask for? It's all on one card. Yes, it's gonna be 7 mana. Yes, I'm not surprised it's 7 mana with all those abilities. And yes, I'm gonna rate it pretty high, even though it's gonna be a little bit difficult to play in a lot of situations. Once you get there, you're there, and you're probably gonna win the game. To be honest, you're probably gonna win the game. Next, we have Death Begets Life. 8 mana, 5 generic, black, green, blue, sorcery mythic. Destroy all creatures and enchantments. Draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. Oh my god.
Let
This
me see
card.
right here.
Hey, hey, hey. We back, Samaj?
This is right. In the armchair. I'm in my armchair. Oh no, I'm muted. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry about that, man. I did not know that my voice gonna came unmuted.
No, it's all good.
I saw the just got revelation.
Okay.
Um,
Let me.
what
All right.
what is
You were ready to get back
no?
started?
Yeah, yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, what'd you think of the Jessica's revelation?
Yeah, it was a hard five for me.
You said what?
That was a hard five for me
Oh
personally.
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't think so. I agree. I said five as well. It just does too many things.
Yeah, and
Oh,
maybe let's do everything particularly great, but everything is just it's just so much value on a card.
return spell or permanent, so they cast something that has a good ETB. You don't want that ETB to trigger. Boom. Yeah, you just hold off on that for at least one turn for me. Thank you very much. Then they got someone on the board you want to kill or deal damage to the face. Boom. Like the card does everything. Two creatures with prowess, draw two cards, gain life. Card's just bonkers.
Yeah, crazy card.
I went on to Death Begets Life, destroy all creatures and enchantments, draw a card for each permanent destroyed this way. Personally, I want to give it a 5.0 because, I mean, destroying everything is just a powerful ability. Destroy all creatures and enchantments, not bad. I don't play removal really well as far as mass board wipes.
Um, in a certain date, this is amazing. Um, like I think it's a pretty solid. Destroy all creatures and enchantments. Then you get to refill your hand for each card that was destroyed this way. Obviously, there's a couple of downsides to it. It's one the sorcery speed. The fact that you got to play this on your turn and draw those cards on your turn means you have to discard a lot of those cards on your turn,
Right.
especially depending on how much you drew. Um, this isn't a one-sided board wipe, which I am in preference of. I prefer the board wipe to be one-sided, and my things to stay okay. But this is nice. It's nice for what it is. Like it's gonna find you the hand you want. You get to basically, um, especially depending on how many things you destroy, you're gonna be able to get the hand you want, discard down, get some value cards into the graveyard for some ability. So it's solid.
What would you rate the card?
As a removal go, a removal that also refills my hand, I gotta give that a 3.5.
Okay. Do you want to round it? Because I was going to give it a 2.5, but I can respectfully round it up to three if you want to go on and round yours to four. I just know me, I don't play the board wipes that well. It's like I always play myself into it. That's what I do. I play myself into my own board wipe. I'm a non-boat for my own play style.
Must I be thinking too far ahead? No,
Right.
I like it. I like the what could happen with it, especially all those draw triggers, depending on how many things die, what you got set up.
Okay.
Could be,
So,
could be really nasty.
so I'm gonna rate this a wait. So I'm gonna rate it a three because I do think it's good. I'm not gonna take away from the fact that it can just blow up the whole like field, but a four is a little strong for me as far as the fact that I know I would work against myself in playing it.
I think I'm gonna stick to 3.5 and not round up just because 8 drops a little high. I
Eight
get
drop
I get the I get the drawing and whatnot, but 8 drops is really high for a remove that can't be decreased in cost at all.
for sure. Let's see. Would you just cause revelation? We both gave that a five. The Excel spreadsheet be wanting to turn the fives into dates like May 5th or something like that. I'm gonna pay attention. All right. Next we have All Out Assault. It is a five mana, two generic, a red, white, and black enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. When this enchantment enters, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. When you when you next attack this turn, untap each creature you control. Did you have to take a break so much?
No, I did, but I'm also reading.
Okay. So 5 mana enchantment doesn't scream value to me, especially one that I'm lying. This is a aggro deck's dream. You play your turn one, two,
Yeah,
maybe remove something on turn three, maybe remove something on turn four, or play something else, then play this on turn five or whatever. If any of your creatures have first strike, you're cooking. You're cooking with hot grease.
not only are you cooking with high grease, like let's say like imagine this in a tokens build. This is a sweet release because first of all of my tokens now get +1/+1 have death touch, so they're now just killers. They're small little killers on the battlefield.
Right,
Now I got to take a second combat phase. So whatever you decide not to deal with, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm coming in. It's happening once more.
that only happens one time. It doesn't do it every turn.
Right, but after even if it doesn't do every turn, but even after you get that second attack phase, you get all your creatures back untapped. So it's like it's truly a full second attack.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's solid. For me, I wouldn't play. I wouldn't pick it highly. Like, I don't know. Somebody, honestly, there's a reality where I don't pick this at all. I'll put it at 1.5 because I can see the value in it, but I just don't know if I'm gonna be going after this aggressively in any situation.
Like I'll say, it wouldn't tie me into a color. Like I wouldn't pick this and be like, okay, I'm going Mardu. But if I was in Mardu, I'm getting this.
For
That makes
sure.
sense.
Right, right. So, what you rating yours?
Two,
All
two
right,
five.
2.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it at 2.5.
All right. Next, we have Dragonback Assault. 6 mana, 3 generic, green, blue, red, teamer color enchantment, mythic. When this enchantment enters, it deals 3 damage to each creature, and each planeswalker has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Well, 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 well. I, I kind of feel like this is a trap card to a certain degree, but I see a lot of upside with it. I think the 3 damage to each creature is going to depend on the overall toughness of creatures in this set. If toughness of creatures is really high and 3 damage doesn't do nothing to them, it's definitely going to drop the card down way lower. But if we have a lot of 3 toughness creatures that this can catch, it's going to really be valuable to a certain degree because it's still 6 mana. 6 mana is a lot to only deal 3 damage.
I feel like Team was getting the best stuff right now because this is awesome to me. I'm like, oh, okay. So just whenever I play a lane, I get another dragon. Cool,
That's
cool.
the part I think is the best part. One sec.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best part. I think the this is just to clear out some of the waste. The top part is just like if there's something that you're probably worried about, or y'all got that stalemate where they got like one or two little guys, and it's like, especially in limited, it's like, oh, this is a hey, get rid of all that, right? You start over, and now every time I play a lane, like I am now not allowed to draw into non gas. Everything
Right,
I draw now is gas. Each lane is gas. It's like,
right,
okay, I
right.
got a creature. I play a creature. I got a land. I got a creature.
So, what would you rate this card in particular?
That's a 3/5 in my book. It's a removal spell with upside. It's a mass removal spell with upside.
So I put 3.0 for myself for now. And if I see a lot of good landfall, like if I see that green is just popping with playing lands, this
Mm.
probably goes up to a 4, maybe higher because if it's just easy to play and I can see people playing it on turn 4 and 5 without compromising turns where they're missing out on creatures or removal or whatnot, these really big green spells are going to be great.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Like, as this set goes, I'm pretty sure my general consensus on a lot of the cards will change because I'll see what's available and what's not available, especially in the terms of limited. But these are just like first looks. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Now I gotta say that we've been saying it here and there, but I would use almost all of these cards in somewhere in Commander because they would be great in Commander. Like every single card so far will be amazing in Commander. So that's like goes without saying. But
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
so for those who are hearing our ratings and thinking like, huh, it's crazy, like just for limiting. This is just how we feel how it would be in.
Right. Let some folks know I'm doing a little stream real quick. Uh, I'll do it in a second. All right. And so was that the last multicolored card in the mythic area? Let's go down to the multicolors down below, and we can, if you still have time, we can get into the monocolored. But I understand if you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the going to get to the multicolors down here. And with so many of them, that might be what I do for the rest of the day, and then do monocolors starting tomorrow. I think I still have like what pretty much 2 days to kind of get them complete, but it depends. Still got a few hours to go to get this complete. All right, we got Call the Spirit Dragons. It's 5 mana, white, blue, black, red, and green enchantment mythic. Dragons you control have indestructible, and at the beginning of your upkeep for each color, put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put a 1/1 counter on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. Now you know somebody's gonna be somebody's gonna be trying to pull this off in limited. Put a 1/1 for each color. Put a 1/1 counter on a dragon you control of that color.
This is gonna all right. So I know that we're talking about limited, but the amount of people that are gonna Maskwood Nexus this during Commander is going to be ridiculous. The amount of people that are gonna get like 5/1/1s, you know what I'm saying? Or like
Right.
five like whatever tokens on the field and Maskwood Nexus into winning the game with this is ridiculous. With that being said, I don't know how great it's gonna be in limited.
Right.
Because getting all 5 dragons out, regardless if they have indestructible or not, getting the appropriate mana to get all 5 dragons out is going to be nigh impossible. If there's some way that they help, and keeping them there is going to be crazy too. But yeah, getting the appropriate mana base and just situation to win in a limited game with this is gonna be nigh impossible. This is the true trap card.
So yeah, honestly, I would give this a 0 to be
Yeah,
quite
I
honest.
have to agree. Unless you just got some 5 color good stuff.
It's like it's just not gonna do much for you. It's gonna be way too hard to play on too many situations. Just adding some of this stuff to the spreadsheet. All right. Next, we have Mardu Siegebreaker. It's a 4 mana, one generic red, white, black creature, human warrior, rare, death touch, and haste. When this creature enters exile up to one target creature you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. When this creature attacks for each opponent, create a tap token as a copy of the exile card attacking that opponent. At the beginning of your instep, sacrifice those tokens. It's a 4/4. I like this. Um, let's see what do we say for the the other guy that was Mardu, I think it was Nariv. I gave it like a two. This one's really good to me. 4 mana, 4/4 with Death Touch and Haste and upside of making tokens. I love making tokens. Now in Commander, you're gonna have multiple opponents, so this works way more effectively. Solo, you're gonna have that one opponent to do it for. But whenever this attacks, it just makes a copy of your other good thing that's attacking. And then if you have some kind of
Yeah,
sacrifice
and,
effects, you can utilize that resource before it sacrifices.
and this guy works really well with the four drop dragon.
Right.
Not only having haste, whatever creature gets sent or exiles and brings back will also have pseudo haste, so he'll also deal double damage.
So for me,
So
this
whatever,
is kind of an instant four.
I have to agree. Instant four death touch haste 4/4 is nasty.
Like, and honestly, it might go up because if we find out this is just easier to play than I'm assuming right now, sky's the limit with this card because you play something good on turn one, two, or three that has a good ETB. You run this out and you start getting that ETB on a stick, you win that game. Honestly, I'm gonna give it 4.5. This is actually something I probably would first pick. I would want to play this card. And to anyone's watching the stream, Samaj is a father, husband and X, Y, and Z. So sometimes he'll have to hop off to attend to his duties and whatnot. But I'll keep the stream going, just trying to cover as many cards as possible before we get into this limited season. Just a reminder, we're here streaming on Twitch, but I also have YouTube and Facebook where you can find a lot of the content. And we also have a Mr. Clintastik Discord. Let's see if I can go on and share that. Copy. I'm gonna drop that in the chat right now. That's the actually honestly I might make the Discord limited to people that's like actually a part of the group or something. I'll go
Yeah,
into
that's
that
fine.
later. Anyway, next we have Lotus Light Dancers. It is a 5 mana, two generic, a black, green, and blue creature zombie bard with lifelink. It's a 3/6, and when this creature enters, search your library for a black card, a green card, and a blue card. Put them into your graveyard, then shuffle. Ugh, that's not what I wanted to hear. That is not what I wanted to
So
hear.
I've got to see what cards they have in this set that work out for that because I know you're super adverse to putting your things in the graveyard before you get your first value out of it. So I really will have to before I right now it's like a 1.5 to me, I guess. I mean it's too high, 3/6 body with life link. Cool, you put three cards in the graveyard, but
So
I have
we just
I
came off a
have to have
set.
cards to deal with that.
We came off a set Aether Drift that was cards that if you had max speed, and they were in your yard, you could pay three, exile them from your yard, and draw a card. So yeah, cool reasons to have. There's all sorts of reasons to have cards in a yard. I just feel like limited is not the place to be trying to do your backflips on your freaking skateboard, bro, or whatnot. Is It's just a little too complicated. It's a 6 mana 3/6. Lifelink's great, but guess what would have made this card way better? Slap flying on there instead. Just put flying on there. At least then it has a little bit of evasion to go with an ability that I have to do extra stuff with or for. It's not a
I
totally
do not
unplayable
disagree.
card. I don't think it's unplayable, so I'll put it at a one for me. But I would have to see what else is in the set for me to be like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not feeling it. Five drop 3/6. I'll rip the stats for making me like, all right, I don't like it. Three, the life link is cool. Yeah, cool. I can attack with you. I feel like fairly safely with such a high defense. You know what I mean? But I'm also like, like I said, I really have to see what other cards are in this set that involve like recursion in some way to see if I find this card even remotely valuable.
Right, right. So what are you rating it?
Right now, it's like a one. Like it's a one. I'm like, I'd use you for a filler if I was in those colors.
For sure, for sure. And maybe the lifelink could be more relevant. Maybe there's be some lifelink payoffs, or just passively the lifelink could be relevant. But a 6 mana 3/6 with no evasion, just lifelink that just dumps 3 cards in my yard. I'd have to have something very specific I'm trying to pull off. All right. Now, finally, a card with a reasonable mana cost, and it's still 3 different colors. We got
Four.
Songcrafter, huh?
I was like four. I read it as you were talking. I was like, oh god, okay, that's nice.
Right. So Songcrafter, are we on Songcrafter Mage? Oh, you're
Oh
already
man,
saying it's a 4. You're saying the rating's a 4. Okay, I got you. I got
and I see, and I read the wrong card because I read Flamehole Grappler when you moved over. I was like, ooh, sorry,
you.
the Songcracker Mage.
Yeah, yeah. It's green, blue, and red. Creature human bard, rare, with flash. I like flash. When this enters, target instant or sorcery in your graveyard gains harmonize until end of turn. Its harmonized cost is equal to its mana cost. So you may cast a card from a graveyard. For its harmonized cost, you may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power, then exile the spell. Um, I like harmonized. I think it's pretty
I
cool.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, 3 mana.
I,
This is on a creature
that's a
too.
with Flash.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a nice 3/5 for me.
right.
Oh,
It targets
that's nice.
instants
That's
and
nice.
sorceries.
Mm-hmm.
And the
You can get
harmonized ability,
harmonized.
if you got a creature that's big enough, it's gonna make pretty much any of your instants and sorceries 1 to 2 mana.
And like the flash ability allows you to go get counter spells, which I like.
True.
This can be this guy is technically a counter spell on a stick.
Right, and it can reduce the cost of the counter spells if you have
Mm-hmm.
creature. Well, no, it can reduce the cost of the counter spell itself because it's 3 power.
Yeah, exactly.
That's correct. This is actually really good.
And it's only
Um,
three. That's two reasonably called guys there. I like that. I really like that. That might be a four.
it might be a 4, but it needs other things like the instants and sorceries that you're pairing with it makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, and those guys have to be in the graveyard, which in this particular color scheme is difficult, but isn't easy. Like that red discard and blue discard.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 for now.
I can see that. I'll probably stick with my full rating. I feel like I'm gonna see a lot of people utilizing this guy because he's good no matter what. Like I feel like no matter when you play, he's still good because he's like, oh, I can flash in 3/2, be a good blocker. I can flash in 3/2 late game, get an instant sorcery that you need.
Right,
Like, so pretty simple.
for sure, for sure. So we got 3.5 and a 4 for that one. Songcrafter Mage. Next we have Flamehold Grappler, blue, red, white, creature human monk, rare. First strike, when it enters, copy the next spell you cast this turn. When you cast it, you may choose new targets for the copies. It's a 3/3. So you were saying this was a 4.0 right off bat for you?
Yeah, this is a four for me. This is a four for me. It's a copy on the body that has first strike. So off rip, it does like efficient stats, efficient blocking, and it'll reasonable cost. Three first strike. Cool. And then if this is late game, and I have more things I want to play when I'm down to want to play two three
Your
spells a
mic got
turn.
kind of muffled for a second.
Oh, when I get to the late game where ready to play more than one spell a turn, two three drops, a three and a two drop, a three and a four, whatever have you. This card is going to come out, and then
Mm,
the next card I play, I'm going to get two of. Yeah,
I can see
yeah.
that.
So, right in the early game, three drop, 3/3 first strike. That's nice. That is a nice card to have there. Period. Right. You would want to play it on turn three because you would want to get the the extra copy of the ability. But if you were forced to, because it's on the card, you're not upset by doing so because it's still a efficient blocker at that at that space.
Right, right.
But then in late game, you see it turn, 6, 7, 8, and if you've been playing mana on curve, it's like, oh, okay, beautiful. Now I got two removal spells. Now I got two sagas. Now I got two
Removal
creatures,
spell.
two
Well,
extra
draw
creatures. Yeah,
spells.
yeah. Whatever spell you feel like you need more of. It's very versatile. I'm a big fan.
I see. I still would give it a 3.5 myself, personally, just because it does need that extra oomph. And limited is a very specific type of format. And they're giving us just strict colors. You know what I'm saying? Makes it a little like I'll tell you
See, my
this.
thing is the way I'm seeing the triple color thing is that for the you're not gonna go three color everything. It's gonna be duo colors with a splash of a third. Like that's how you're gonna have to build these decks. Like, oh, I'm really Boros splashing blue, so I can play the two Jeskai color cards I got that came with it. Or I'm really playing Gruul splashing blue, or I'm playing Simic splashing black. That's how I'm seeing a lot of these cards are going to have to be played in limited. Like I don't think you're going to be able to hard hard commit to the full three colors. It's going to be a two color bottom set, which you splashing that third color so that you can play some of the powerful cards you got in the triple color or tricolor combinations.
I've thought that in the
Like,
past. I've had that same sentiment. And then you know what it turns into? Five color junk, five color junkyard, or five color good stuff.
and I feel like that's gonna be an option too. Like that's as long as you get the mana to help you do five color good stuff, it's usually fine. And we've seen some people pull off five color good stuff out of the thin air.
Is
Like,
some
oh,
people talking about us? We've
this is
been
true.
desperate before. We've just been like, oh, well,
Five colors.
and it works just unnecessarily. So I get what you're saying too. It's going to be mostly two colors splash another one, but
Mhm.
I'm gonna be real. I've seen Magic players are greedy. All these multicolored spells, bro, it's gonna be nothing but five color good stuff left and right with a base green. Right,
Fair.
we gonna see though.
Yeah, we did scroll down a bunch of monocolored comments. Like I saw a bunch of monocolored comments. Like
Yeah,
so,
for today, I'm gonna
what
try to
would you
at least
say?
get through the multicolored spells here, and then wrap
Yeah,
that up if we can. There's a lot of multicolored
dang,
spells,
that's a lot of spells.
so we got through a lot of the strong ones already. So let's just power through as many as we can.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
if
yeah.
y'all
So we're
follow,
on revival of the ancestors, I believe. Oh,
th-
thanks for the follow.
thank you for the follow. Who is this? SGT Salt. We really appreciate it. All right, next card is Revival of the Ancestors. It's a 4 mana, one generic white, black, green Abzan saga. As this saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3 lore counters. First chapter, create 3/1/1 white spirit creature tokens. Next chapter, distribute 3/1/1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control. In chapter 3, creatures you control gain trample and lifelink until end of turn. For me, I think this is solid. 4 mana, 3 tokens that's gonna basically get pumped up, and then I'm gonna get lifelink and trample for all my creatures. A green deck's paradise. Green white deck making token paradise. Green white black deck with lifelink. No, it didn't give death touch. Still, I would give this probably a 4.0 off bat. I like it. What do you think? Oh, he might have had to step away. We'll update his evaluations where he returns. But yeah, for now, I give this a 4.0, maybe even more, simply because it does so many good things. Any Abzan player is going to want to run it. Next, we have Rediscover the Way. It's blue, red, and white. Saga. Look at the top, chapter 1 and 2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. And then chapter 3, whenever you cast a non-creature spell this turn, target creature you control gains double strike until end of turn. This is okay. This wouldn't necessarily be first pickable for me. I would probably give it a 2.0. Maybe actually I'm gonna give it a
Um,
1.5. It's just not something I'm too concerned about off top.
yeah, I think the best part of it is the third part. So it's like it's setting you up for a big attack. Which I mean, I think for me this is kind of like a combat trick with extra steps. Like a
Right.
combat tricks that let you go search for a couple cards to possibly help with a combat trick. But I don't know. I don't dislike it. I've heard maybe a two for sure. But I don't know what happened with my mic earlier, but I was still here, and that Revival of the Ancestors is a clear like four for me because that's actually disgusting, and it
Right,
kind of
right.
like to me that kind of points to a green white build that's splashing black. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna make a bunch of tokens, we're gonna put a bunch of counters on them, and then we're gonna give them trample on life.
Right.
Like that seems very like I'm gonna, but they're not to say that people are gonna take that route, but
I would
it
not
kind of
personally. I kind of wish it said trample and death touch, so this could just be an absolute finisher. Like, oh yeah, he'll be coming through. But I will accept the lifelink. And then also, if there's things that's getting permanents from the yard, I think we mentioned one earlier. If there's ways to get those things back to the battlefield, and this starts happening again, oh no, you don't want this
hmm
to happen again. You didn't want it to happen the
yeah.
first time.
Or I hate that the spirits don't have flying.
I
That
was
does kind
gonna
of
I
suck.
was gonna speak on that earlier, but beggars can't be choosers. The
Right,
card was
right.
already good. Like
Yeah,
they probably would have made them two 1/1 flyers instead of having three tokens. You get what I'm saying? So that might have
yeah.
been a design choice there. All right, let's
But
move.
yeah, I agree with the rediscover being a two. I think you said 1.5 actually, but
Yeah, it's a 1.5 for me simply because the color is a big barrier and the costs don't seems to outweigh the risk of running the card. You're
right.
you're getting one card out of three. I don't know. It's just not my favorite. And you said
Yeah,
2.0, right?
yeah, I give it a two because like I said, I can see it being a really fun combat trick. Just gotta know how to play around it.
Okay, next we have Awaken the Honored Dead. It's also a saga. It's black, green, and blue. Chapter one. Oh, can you mute for a second while I read it, bro? All right. Chapter one, destroy target non-land permanent. Chapter two, mill three cards. And then chapter three, you may discard a card. When you do, return target creature or land from your graveyard to your hand. I'm I mean, okay, Awaken the Honored Dead. Mm, I don't like the mill three cards. And I'm not a fan of the third chapter when you do return target creature or land from graveyard to your hand by discarding the card. It's okay. So just blow up non-land permanent. That's always gonna get probably a 3.0 out of me, especially on a 3 mana card. But then to be able to get back a creature or land from your graveyard by discarding something, maybe even a land, that's a good enough upside. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. So Maj, did you have any input on the card?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of the short target permanent for not just the creatures permanent. So it's like, hey, I don't like that thing be gone. So off rip, I'm always a big fan of the card that says um, the mill three could be. Oh, I don't know what the mill three could do for sure. But, maybe it's just Ivy. Who's talking,
Special,
please?
special guest Ivy, future Magic player, future champion.
Yeah. Future champion. Say hey, Ivy. But no, I do believe that the military costs is a bit unnecessary in this card, but I'm sure there'll be some type of reanimation. Okay, take this
I'm
one
not
over and you can watch.
I'm not a fan of the mill three cards at all.
Yeah, I could do without the meal.
For me, I gave it a 3.5. What are you giving it?
I'm gonna stick with three because I do enjoy the short and the permanence. The other two cards was like, okay.
I th- I gave it a 3.5 because I think chapter 3 is actually really good. So you play this on turn 3, you blow up some of their things. You're gonna mill 3 cards, which I don't like, but at the very least, on chapter 3, you get to discard something you might not have been using or a land or something, and you get back one of your potentially get back one of your milled cards. So it kind of makes
Yeah,
up, it jumps through a hoop, but then unhoops itself. So I'm cool with it.
yeah, and I guess it's like a weird pseudo form of draw. I just don't like it.
Right, right.
So I stick with my three, but I understand why you give it a 3.5.
All right. I'm gonna take a quick breather. I've been reading a lot. Do you mind reading the next card off?
Not at all, not at all.
For sure.
All right, so the next card we have is Thunder of Unity. It is a red, white, and black. I believe that is like it's like this little camera thing right here. So I believe it's red, white, and black. Saga. After the saga enters, and after you draw a step, add a lore counter, sacrifice for three. You draw two cards and you lose two life on chapter one. I don't hate that. Uh, And for the remaining two chapters, whenever a creature you control enters this turn, each opponent loses one life and you gain one life. I really like that actually. Um, so this is kind of more of a again. This I see this as more of a token specialist or like low drop, low to the ground aristocrats type deal where you can draw two, lose two life, but then regain that life by playing creatures on the back end. And it doesn't even say you have to cast it. So whenever a creature enters, so if you have any uh, ongoing abilities or payoffs that are giving you tokens or extra creatures, you just double up on those abilities. And it's two turns of that. So like you may possibly regain the life you lost from the draw two the turn before on the second turn. And then the third turn is just kind of cherry on top, if you will. So at three, I'm really loving this enchantment. Clint, how you feel about it?
I'm a fan. Um, draw two, lose two is kind of standard. Par for the course for black now. Could you mute for a
Yeah,
second? Just for a
yeah,
second.
for sure. So
Sorry, the TV's coming through a little bit on your side, so it kind of clashes when I'm trying to talk. But anyway, um, draw two, lose two is par for the course for black. So I'm not a big fan of losing a two life, but like you said, it handles itself if you're able to play a creature or get a creature on the battlefield, and so you gain a life and the opponent loses a life. Overall, I think it's solid. I would probably give it a 2.0 still. I, I don't want to have to lose
I,
two life.
I kind of had it at 2.5. Like you play this on turn three, turn four, you drop a four drop or a three drop or two drops, and you kind of regain the wherever the loss was, and you already have the advantage of the two extra cards. So it's like replacing itself plus giving you an extra card when you play it. And I won't say you're guaranteed to get the life back, but just based off progression, it would seem that all right, cool. I'm going to get some of this life back, if not all of this life back plus some.
So I'm comparing this to previous cards. There's been too many instant speed in black, do this ability, and it's done, and it's not a red, white, black card. You get what I'm saying? The mana restrictions on some of these cards is really what's bringing down my evaluation of them. Even though I know we're gonna probably have the mana, dual color manas coming up. But yeah, overall, this card's not that exciting to me. What's your rating on it?
I think I had it at 2.5 as it stood because, like I said, it does require you to have the necessary creatures to benefit from that second and third chapter. I don't dislike the first chapter. Like I said, it's pretty standard. Like this is very, very unstandard for a three drop card as well. Like a three drop black card, draw two cards, lose two life. That seems very standard. So all the extra just seems like cherry on top of what would be a standard black card. So like a 2.5 for me.
Okay. All right. Next we have Roar of Endless Song. It is a 5 mana, two generic, green, blue, red. That's Teamer colors. It's a saga. Chapters 1 and 2 create a 5/5 green elephant creature token. Okay. And then chapter 3, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Whew, Teamer's looking pretty hot. That's looking
I
A1.
said that earlier, bro. I was like, Teamer seems to be getting all the best stuff right now. It seems. I'm sure Teamer's probably gonna be the good guys, but Teamer seems to just be ah.
Bruh, what? This is only 5 mana. So for
But
five
Teamer and
mana,
Jessica,
for 5 mana, I get two 5/5 elephants, and then the next turn double all my creatures' power and toughness. For
and then green or red. That's just that's
for five
yeah,
mana. For only
yeah. For 5 man, no. Like 5 and 5 is already nice with it. That five has some type of decent upside. Like I won't say nice, but 5 man and 5 is already decent. It's just basically 5 mana, two 5/5s, and a double and a power up. Sure, you got to wait your turns for it, but
the
like even if
on-
you blow one of my 5/5s, I'm like I'm gonna get another 5/5 for free. Turn the second turn, and I can spend my mana how I want that turn. So yeah, this is a beautiful card.
the only reason I'm not giving it a 5.0 is because we haven't gone over the whole set yet. And I would hate for there to be two, three, four, five cards that's just leagues better than this. But this is good. This is just good. Say you flicker this, or return it from the graveyard to the battlefield, or to your hand. You do anything. You get this again, twice in a game. They're cooked. They're cooked. They're like, oh no! I already had to deal with two 5/5 elephants. Now I gotta deal with two more 5/5 elephants on one card. Yeah, yeah. This is probably a 5.0 for me. What you thinking, Samaj? I'm gonna put it at 5.0. I'm gonna go on and say it.
Right now it's a 4.5 for me. I'm gonna give it a 5 because I am on the same book. Look, I do just getting tired shit to figure out like, oh, okay, cool. So this is just the nuts, you know.
Right.
It's sorry about that beeping. That's fine. Alarm going off. But no, just seeing this, like I want to grab one of these. So I'd splash out of Jeskai into Teamer just to make sure I could play this card. If Jeskai was my main color, so like I'm not even lying. I
Bro.
splash green somewhere to make sure I could play it.
Honestly, I think any solid player is gonna lean towards green. There's so many colors this set that if I had to make a prediction, this is gonna be 5 color good stuff set because nobody's gonna want to miss out on abilities just based off of color restrictions. And then we're seeing some of these cards are already expensive to play. So some people might be anticipating this being a fast set. Once I see the monocolor cards, if I see that a solid mono red deck is just not possible to beat out even a basic 3 color deck, I already know this is gonna be 5 color good stuff season. Real quick, thank you, Mike Man 1983 for the follow. We really appreciate it. What's
Yeah,
your favorite
appreciate you,
color?
Mike, man.
What'd you say, Samaj?
I was just saying, no, I appreciate you, Mike, man.
For sure, for sure. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next, we have Philothar, Dawn of the Abzan. It's 3 colors: white, black, green. Legendary creature, human warrior. Rare, trample. When it enters or attacks, you may sacrifice the non-land permanent. When you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. It's a 3/3. This is solid, right? Like this goes up even more because it's not only when it enters, it's also when it attacks. So it's recursive value. And so yeah.
So
Oh, go ahead, go
yeah,
ahead.
I don't. I'm about to say I don't dislike this card at all. Um, so I like the fact that it can feed itself by getting rid of like unnecessary things, and it calls it in. Yeah, I take that back. I do like this card. I really like this card.
Yeah, bro, I'm loving it. Like the more I think about it, so say you have a way to make tokens, right? If you have
Mm-hmm.
any kind of way to make tokens every turn, you just sack the token and you're putting 1/1 counters on all your stuff. If you have a way to make two tokens per turn, it's over. It's over.
Like that, the saga right above it, kind of like that we looked at earlier, the one that makes one white spirit tokens, like pairs perfectly with this guy.
Right. Right. Bro, what? Okay. So yeah, I'm giving it a for me I'm giving it a 4.5. Honestly, this might go up higher if I see that it's just viable to do in a lot of situations.
Yeah, same. Right now, it's a four for me, and I'm like, I wouldn't go to the 4.5. I just jump to the five for me once I see what the
You said it's
white,
gonna
black,
start
and
with a
green
four?
comics. Yeah, I'm gonna start with a four, and I'll pop it to five once I see the mana or the monocolor stuff.
For sure. All right. Next we have Narset, Jeskai Waymaster, blue, red, white, Jeskai, legendary creature, human monk, rare. At the beginning of your end step, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw cards equal to the number of spells you've cast this turn. It's a 3/4.
So this is very iffy. It's a super cool card if you got a bunch of cantrippy spells. Like I got a bunch of 1 and 2 drop spells that draw this to do such and such. But early game, it's not super effective.
You want to have
Like
your
you're not
hand
gonna.
empty already.
Yeah, so like empty well, I mean, not you want to be playing spells to where you're going to empty your hand that turn so that you can draw that many cards at the end of your turn. So cause you only draw as many spells as you've played that turn. So you want to have 3 or 4 cost spells to play so you can draw 1 or 2. So and if you
I would probably want a deck full of low cost prowess creatures, like 1, 2 cost prowess creatures, so I can play them easy, keep my hand empty, and then have the rest of the spells be like instants and sorceries or something like that. I don't know.
yeah, little cantrips, like little 1 and 2 drop cantrips that play this, draw a card, somebody gets +1/+1, which would
Right,
activate the prowess. Play this, deal 1 damage, they'll get +1/+1. You got to discard a card. Like you want a bunch of those little guys. Play those so that your hand is empty, so that when you do end your turn, you can draw a bunch of cards to refuel that prowess synergy as it goes on. But that's why I still say early game this card isn't as effective as you'd like it to be. Because say you play this turn 3, turn 4 at the most, you're playing two spells maybe, so you wouldn't discard your hands just to draw 2 cards, right? So like it's like, okay, you know what? I, I can see this being a late, not necessarily late game, but turns 5, 6, you drop this where you can play more spells. Your hands gotten kind of low. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do a removal spell and do a such and such spell after I play this. Draw 3 cards.
right, and it's good late game regardless because I'm gonna get it at a 3.5. Well, put it at 3.5. You have it out late game. You're top decking. You play a spell. You're empty handed. It's gonna draw you a card at the very least. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, at the
Because you
very
played a
least, fair enough.
because you played a spell that turn, and you didn't have to discard the spell you draw that turn. So I can see this going up if Jeskai goes up. But right now I'm gonna drop it at a 3.5. What about you?
I got it as a solid 3. It would be lower than that if you didn't basically like reward even on your when you're top deck, and if you can play that spell while this card's in the field, it'll just replace it at the end of the turn. So you can have 2 spells the next turn. It's a slow haul, but it works out.
Right, and 3 mana 3/4 is even better stats. Like
Yeah,
all
3 9 3 4 is great stats.
all this card would need for me to put it at 4.0 or higher would be flying. If this card or prowess, like any little extra flair would instantly make this card way better than this. But as it is, I'm like I'll keep it at 3.5. You're probably right at the 3.0, but if I open up a pack and I don't see any removal and I'm looking for a direction to go, this is what I'm gonna choose.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Next we have Codis, the Fang Keeper. It's 4 mana, one generic, black, green, and blue. Legendary creature, zombie warrior, rare, indestructible. Why? Why? It better have
I
some
don't.
downside.
I
Let's
don't.
see.
I don't necessarily like this card.
Let's see. Whenever Codis deals combat damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying the mana cost. It's a 2-1. Bro, why you don't like this? Tell me why you don't like this card.
Okay, so I'm super happy it's in short when it gets to last for a while. Like it has that Toski the Fame Bearer thing going on for it, right? So whenever it does get in, but from what I've seen in this set, it looks incredibly easy to block. It has no form of evasion like Death Touch or Menace or incentivizing me not to block it. And even if you do get to attack, you get to exile my spells. Mind you, that's a plus on your side. But if you're attacking for two, you, from what I've seen, and even just looking at the screen right now, there's one card that you're allowed to play from the damage you're doing. Right, just
Cool.
me just looking at the cards available on the screen, like for that we're looking at. Like you can play that Hollow Merc Siege if you wanted to, and that's just from face value. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You get to play a 2-drop possibly, but if you don't get a 2-drop, you fail. And if you don't increase this thing in power at all, you only get to look at the top two cards. So it really requires a lot. Like you got to be building around Codis.
And see,
Like
I
this,
think
hey,
I naturally build around them because I would jam my deck full of like removal and counter spells, XYZ. If I had this already, that one what card was it? Death begets life card that blows up the board would
mhm.
instantly like insta pick. If I had like if this was pack one and I say, okay, cool, I'm gonna go this route, and the next pack is that card, I'm going that route because now my creature's indestructible and yours isn't. I I'm not positive yet, but I would assume there's gonna be ways to put counters on things to make it even though you do block this guy, he's winning a lot of combats to whittle you down to finally make it so I can get in at you. Or you thought you could block effectively and I made it so you couldn't. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, and I think that's kind of why I don't like him. Like alone, he's average at best. Like
right, he
at
doesn't have
best
no
alone.
ETBs or nothing. He does have
No
lowered,
HDBs. Like
but he blocks infinitely, bro. He doesn't
he
have death
he
touch.
does block infinitely on the ground. Like he
Right.
does block infinitely on the ground, which I give to him. But at 2-1, I'm like, oh, you're not like at 4 mana to get. I'll give it to you. An infinite blocker is super nice, but as far as the other abilities go, it's just very situational. I'm gonna have to remove everything off your side of the field or make myself unblockable somehow to consistently make that ability matter.
I
Like,
get what
because
you're
otherwise,
saying.
the only part that does matter is the fact that I'm indestructible. Like, 'cause that's all. For right now, that's what it seems like. The only part that matters is the fact that I'm indestructible. And to me, that's just an average card. I like. That's
And
why
so
I
so
like.
that's why I would give it a 3.0. I would give it a 3.0. Hey, what up, Mike Man from Grand Junction? Hey,
What's up,
doing
Mike?
well.
Big
Yes, sir.
Mike.
Yes, sir. But yeah, I
Nah,
would
but
give it a
yeah,
3.0 because I do agree. I think it's an average card with above average upside. Like if you do happen to bring the deck together, your opponents are cooked. They are cooked. This is the epitome of I'm a Sultai Sweat player and I'm with it because I'll be one. I do not mind.
I'm not. I get it. I get it. Like, there's a certain flair to the card. But to me, it's a solid 2. And like
Okay.
it's awesome. It'll become better than that once you build a great deck around it. But I'm like, if I don't have the upside card, and I think it's it costing 4 mana that's really getting me. I think yeah,
So
my
three mana
evaluation would go up.
indestructible. You think three
Like I
mana
think
indestructible would be fair, even if it's good?
black, green, blue, like 3 specific color indestructible. Yeah. Like, oh, you
Okay.
gotta have 3 specific colors to get this indestructible 2-1. Yeah.
Okay. So you
Like
think
I
it's an
if it was like,
overcosted situation?
Because like yeah, I think like for Toski, it's three colorless and it's singular green, and I get a 1/4 indestructible that draws me a card whenever any other creature on the field deals damage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that upside there is powerful because like even but his existence is validated through everyone else on the board. Toski doesn't have to get in to deal damage. Anyone else near Toski. That's what I
Can
see the
do it.
guy as right now. This is just zombie Toski. Like I'm like, okay, cool. They got a zombie Toski. Then because all he does is he attacks. Oh, instead of drawing cards, now you take cards from them, and you can possibly play them if they're within the right, amount of cards you draw and the amount of power he dealt. So it's just like So now you're limiting what I can even get from it by how much power you dealt. So even if I do attack you for two, I am limited to the top two cards, and which I like the top two. I like all right, cool, two cards as opposed to one card, fantastic. But now if any of those cards don't cost two, they're just exile. Cool, cool. But I wanted to play those. That's the reason I'm trying to get
That
you into
that
attack
but once
anyway.
again, so if you this so happen get counters on this or anything, if you get this to 5 or 6 power, first off, it's that's ridiculous. You're gonna win the game anyway because you're killing them in 4 turns. But second off, you're getting to cast pretty much anything out the opponent's deck for free
All
off
right.
the top.
And you can get those guys up, but again, no evasion. So like you still like not unincentivized to not block this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
There still is no
So I would
downside
think
to
I would think with being a combat trick player yourself, you would find that being incredible because like, oh, they're gonna block thinking this is nothing but a 2-1. Now all of a sudden it has trample and 3-3 or something like that.
and again, that's why I'm saying like I don't like because I know for a fact that alone is not like for what I'm trying to build it for. I'm like alone this isn't great. I have to have the a deck that's built around trying to make that pop off. Because like I
Right.
said, blocked, cool. I can block a creature a turn. I can block a creature you come up with a turn. None of your flying stuff and trample doesn't matter. My defense is one. So like I can't stop that. If I get a combat trick, cool, but like I'll have to be hard focusing trying to do this on coaches as opposed to coaches like validating his own existence. I would have
Right.
to work to validate Coda's existence. You know
Well,
what
I
I
think the
mean? Like
same.
that's why
I think the
that's why I
same thing
compared him to
almost
Toski.
the same thing almost goes for what we just talked about with Narset. Narset by itself doesn't do anything but be a 3 mana 3/4. But once you get at least once the conditions are set, the card gets much better.
Yeah,
But Narset is only set at 3 mana though, so I guess there's
yeah.
a difference there.
A 3 mana 3/4. So like that's what I was saying. Like earlier, I'm like, hey, okay, early on, she's not necessarily the greatest, but you can still put her out there as a 3/4 blocker and so on and so forth. Like she really shines once you do start getting towards the bottom of your hand because you can empty your hand, refill, try and empty your hand again. Oh, you couldn't play one of the cards. Well, you played two of them, so you can still empty that one card if you want to draw two more cards. So like she keeps validating her existence just by you playing. As opposed to Codis, I have to be all right. I got to find a way to make Codis either unblockable, make Codis stronger, and then attack with Codis, and then make sure you still don't block if I haven't made them unblockable Codis, so that I can get the things from your deck to steal and possibly get a possibly different. It's just like, all right, everything is hard focused on Codis. Whereas Nar said, once she's on the field, oh, well, I'm gonna play my creature for the turn. I'm gonna play this artifact that gives me mana. I'm gonna play a spell that deals the damage to this.
Mm.
And I got one card left in hand. Well, I guess I'll just discard that one card and draw three since I played three spells this turn. I ain't give a fuck, excuse my French. I didn't care about what Narset was doing. I didn't have to target Narset or focus on Narset. Narset, her existence was just validated by being there.
Right,
I feel like
right.
coach doesn't have that. His existence is validated when by being able to block a thing or turn. But outside of that, you truly have to hard focus on him. And that's not to say that your evaluation should change or whatever. I think if you think Coach is a three, he's a three. But to me, he's a two. He seems very trappy. I'm like, if I'm in them colors, yeah, I think he's gonna come out to be a super problem. Like if you truly build around to make him a problem, he can be a problem. because he has like Lon is like feel to him with like with the extra indestructible add on. I just think you really got a hard focus on.
For sure. So we went 3 and 2 on that one. Let's go on to Zergo Thunder's Decree. It's red, white, and black. Legendary creature, orc warrior with mobilize. This is the first time bringing up mobilize today. It's mobilized 2. Whenever this creature attacks, create 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens and sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. During your end step, warrior tokens you control have this token can't be sacrificed. It's a 2/4. That's this is
Great.
just kind of a fun, exciting effect.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super fun. So the only thing you have to worry about, right, is when they have efficient blockers on the field because they'll be able to put this guy in danger. But in the colors you're in, there should be ample combat tricks or ways to make him even tougher than he already is. So you really get to build up a board just by playing the game. Like, oh, I'm gonna attack, mobilize 2, gonna attack, mobilize 2, gonna
Right,
attack,
right, right.
mobilize 2.
And wasn't there a card that gave? Was it a Mardu card that gave another combat step when it entered? So that'd be crazy.
There was in fact a Mardu enchantment that gave another combat step.
So I think this is going to probably be used in Commander. I can already see people. I would probably build a Commander deck around this because I bet there's ways to be like, okay, everybody has to sacrifice, and it's like, well, no, my stuff can't be.
Yeah. So this is like a smaller version of that Doctor Who creature that came out. Well, at least the bottom half is the Master. Creatures don't have to be sacrificed at the end step, or tokens that say have to be sacrificed don't have to be sacrificed anymore. But his is just hard focus to warriors, and I think one in Commander that's going to be amazing because there's so many other things that make warrior tokens outside of just this card, and they do like different types of warriors, like Orc warrior or whatever. As long as it's a warrior, it won't have to be sacrificed. So that's going to be awesome. Like I can truly see like don't let there be any sort of doubling effect in this set that doubles the amount of tokens you can put down because that's gonna be stupid.
Right. I'm saying I'm giving it a 4.0 off top.
Oh yeah, I'm giving it a 4 based on how fun it'll be to play and how dangerous it can be. I mean, like, sure, the stats could be slightly better, but for what's going on, yeah, it's a 4/4. It's technically a 4/4. It's just dividing its other 2 power up into 2 rare creatures.
And I think it's once he can play it, you're gonna get value like multiple turns a game. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily be like I wouldn't first pick this because it's a great direction to go as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great lane to just put yourself in and be like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go beat down Mardu beat down.
And right, and again, I'm seeing that dragon, the red, white, black one that doubles the power, doubles the damage that creatures are just entering. This goes well with that. If you do have that dragon, those 1/1s are coming in dishing out 2 damage apiece
True.
because they can come in and attack. So I'm seeing now where that ability is going, why that dragon does what it does.
Right. All right. Next we have Eshki Dragonclaw. It's 4 mana, one generic green, blue, red. Teamer colors. Legendary creature, human warrior, rare. Has vigilance, trample, and ward 1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've cast both a creature and a non-creature this turn, draw a card
Fine.
and put 2/1/1 counters on Eshiki Dragonclaw. It's a 4/4. Ooh,
That's a
hoo,
5.
hoo.
That's a 5. That's a 5, Clint. That's a 5. That's a 5. I get his
Okay.
3 colors. The vigilance, trample, ward 1. Right, boom. Here's 3 keywords. Just have fun. All right, so now this 4/4 it has vigilance and trample. So anything you have that's small, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I'm running through that. Ward 1. So now you just got to put a little extra every time you target me. Great. I'm already in colors like blue and green, so I'll have access to ability to give me more one counters or protect me in some way. But also, anytime I play a creature spell and a non-creature spell, creature and draw, creature and burn, creature and whatever, I get 2/1/1 counters. So I would actively like pump myself every just for playing the game the way I want to. Yeah, yeah,
For sure. Me, I'm gonna give
yeah.
it a 4.5. I feel like it's, I won't say a build around, but to a certain degree, you still need those conditions to be filled.
Hmm.
Vigilance and trample. The ward one gets me too. I love that, but this card I think is best if you can get it to that 6/6 space to get those 2/1/1 counters. And if you were able to get it to 8/8, it straight up five, straight up just no, probably a
But
six out of
yeah,
six because it's like, oh what, an eight
it's so
eight
good.
right.
I told you, bro,
But
Teamer's
those
getting the
con
best stuff.
but those conditions do need to be set.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and
I
see,
know
my thing is
I'm gonna
like,
drop this mug. I'm gonna be like, oh, they can do
right.
what with that? Boom.
So my thing is like the first part of the condition you're going to be trying to do anyway for the sake of playing the game. Like you're going to be want to be playing creatures anyway. So like to me, why that's a condition, it's not a condition because I'm trying to play creatures. But the thing is being able to do both on a turn. So as long as I can play a creature and have any burn spell or draw spell or any spell really that's not a creature spell is like, oh yeah, that's a
Including
free plus two
sagas,
counters
instant sorceries,
including
artifacts.
sagas. Yeah, so anything not a creature, which I'm already trying to play. This is limited. We're trying to get at least a couple of those out. And in a deck that's rendered card like this, I feel like you're going to be somewhat creature heavy. Like this seems like a beat down. Teamers seem very beat down. Like I'm trying to overwhelm you with just unrelenting force.
Right, right. So yeah, I can see that. I could. You're probably right. It probably is a five. I will have to see
It's
more cards. The only
yeah,
reason I
it's
put that other one at five because by itself, no questions asked,
yeah,
it
fair.
ETBs and creates two separate targets, and then on another turn it creates a third target, and then on that final turn it does a global effect. This one I see the value. I see what you're saying because if I'm ever playing limited, and this is on the other side of the board, and I'm staring down a 6/6 or an 8/8 vigilant trample ward one, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah, dog.
I'm gonna be mad. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. But off top, I'm like, okay, cool. This can be dropped, and I'm not gonna be too upset by it. But it's still pretty high up for me. Let's see.
Yeah, I
Ne-
feel it. I feel it.
Next, we have Baron Step Siege. It's 4 mana, 2 generic, a white and a black enchantment, rare. As this enchantment enters, choose Abzan or Mardu. Abzan being white, black, green, Mardu being white, black, red. Abzan at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. That's always powerful. Mardu, beginning of your end step. If a creature died under your control this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice.
Yeah, yeah. So this is further pushing the two colors hard splash one color because they're showing that like, all right, we know that these three colors share with something. So which two are you going to hard splash that you can pull in and then splash a third one? I also love the fact that it gives you the fact to have two options so that even if you're running Mardu, you can get the Abzan option. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or even if you're running the opposite, you can have the a taste of the other one from the other
Right.
side of the clan. This particular one, this particular enchantment, freaking amazing. I don't know if you felt that way, but that's freaking amazing. I put a
I did feel that. I do feel that way. Um, so this goes into because I'm still considering the limited format. I'm just like, this is a 4 mana ETB and really doesn't immediately do something.
it kind of does. It really it doesn't. Okay, I guess you could say not immediately do something because you got to make it to the end of your turn. But it does kind of depending on which one you pick. So like I played this Batter Step Siege and they allow it to enter, right? They allow it to enter. We're saying that it's no longer on the stack. As soon as I made my choice on which one it is, which it does when I enter, I'll choose Mardu or let's say I choose Mardu. You have a now a protection for spot removal. Like immediately, like oh now your spot removal becomes removal. Like you have to blow something up now. Like you know what I mean? Like oh
Yeah,
turn
but
four, I play this.
so they could wait. So they say they wait to the end of your end step and this triggers, and they didn't blow nothing up. They just waited to the end step. They blow something up. Will they still have to sacrifice something?
Probably not. Probably not because it's in the beginning of the end step. So I have to wait till they couldn't do it at the beginning of the end. So I have to wait till yeah, they really would have. They couldn't do it because
Oh,
once the beginning of your end step starts, that trigger will go on the stat. And if anything blew up, it would happen. And then they, all right, cool, I blow this up, and then that trigger would
that's what I
still
was
see
just
something
thinking.
die. Yeah, the
Right.
trigger would still see something die.
So yeah, I get where like. This could be pretty good, bro. I would give it a
It's not.
3.5.
I'm about to say, yeah, I have it. It's a three right now. Like it's not the craziest card, but
The
like I really like it.
what gives me the 3.5 is even the absent part at the beginning of your instant put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So if you've already like, okay, cool, I got a bunch of death touchers. They're not even attacking in because I got a bunch of death touchers on the ground, X, Y, and Z. Now I curved out with this on top. I chose Abzan. I'm putting counters on everything. Oh, or I have a strat where, you know, I have creatures I can get back from the yard X, Y, and Z. So I know that when they die, they're basically becoming removal spells. So I liked this card as soon as I saw it, but my main concern was that it was a 4 mana do nothing card. So you might be right on the 3.0 because yeah, I doubt I ever want to see more than two of these in my deck, if I even want two.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel. I can see that. I understand the point five little extra.
Yeah, you got the options. 1/1 counters on each of your creatures is crazy, and being able to make your creatures essentially removal spells for the opponent, that's crazy too. But once again, 4 mana, and it comes in and does nothing immediately is kind of frustrating. So you got to plan
Yeah,
it out.
fair enough.
All right, next we have Frostcliff Siege. 3 mana, one generic, a blue, and a red enchantment, rare. As this enchantment enters, choose Jeskai or Teamer. Jeskai, whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat to a player, draw a card. Teamer, creature you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. All right, I'm gonna give this 4.5. Jesus, what,
Yeah, this is crazy.
bro? What?
Draw draw at 3 mana to give all creatures you control +1/+0 and trample and haste.
Bro.
Bro, I'm like, okay. That's a lot of upside for 3 mana. Yeah, that could be one of the ones to go for if you're running Jeskai or Teamer. Any
Bro,
one of those could benefit from that just that bottom half. The top half is nice.
it's
Don't get me
nice.
wrong. The top it's nice. Yeah, drawing a call, I did damage. That's cool. That's great. +1 plus +1 plus
And the
O
thing
trample.
is,
Hey,
what they typically like to do is with an effect like that is put like draw a card, discard a card. They try to put like a loot effect or something. Nope, they're straight up
right?
draw. So this is something I would probably run 3 copies of this because you have those options. And say you want to run two options as teamer and have or one option as teamer to have all your creatures have haste, and two options as just got to draw two cards a turn or whatever order you want it. It's crazy.
Yeah, because like I was already thinking about that card we saw earlier, the flame hold, the Jeskai monk that lets you copy a spell after you use the battlefield.
Right, right.
Yeah, turn
Oh,
six,
bring
play
this
him.
back.
No, turn three, play him, and then play the Frostcliff Siege. Get a second Frostcliff Siege. Choose both sides
Oh,
because
yeah,
unless
yeah,
you
that's
copy it and then
nasty.
play.
That is nasty. What's your rating for it?
Oh, this is a 4.5. Damn near
Oh,
five for me. Excuse my French, but come
man,
on now.
I'm close
Trample,
to it.
trample, haste, and +1 for three.
Triple
Every,
and
to
haste.
everyone, mind you.
Bro, what? Oh
There better be
man.
some good enchantment removal in this set.
Hey, let me know how the lighting's going. I had to turn that big light off my face, bro. It was like literally
Oh,
burning up my eyes. I was like, sheesh.
the camera's not on right now, is it?
My camera's back on now.
I don't see a camera.
You don't see it at all? Even now?
Nope, not at all. Maybe I'm tripping. Nah, no, not at all. It's just I see. Nah, yeah, it's not on.
Is it on? Is it on now?
Could you move it away from the main screen? Because right now, all I'm seeing is the window. Like you remember, you're looking at the cards right now. I don't see your. I see Frostcliff Siege, Hollow Merc Siege, Wind Cracks. I see the sieges, but I
Okay.
don't see your
So if you go to
camera at all.
Twitch, you see me on.
Okay, well, I'm watching just
Yeah,
the
on the
straight
Discord.
Discord. Yeah.
Let me see what I got going on here, real quick. Okay. So I got the camera going on Twitch. It's all good. I turned the camera off on my for a little bit and turned the light off, but it's all good. Anyway, let's get on to it. Windcrag Siege is 3 mana, a generic, a red and a white enchantment. As this enters, choose Mardu or Jeskai. Mardu, if a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Jeskai, at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 goblin creature token. It gains lifelink and haste until end of turn. This is kind of a I it's like a 2.0 for me. I kind of like it. I do like it, and it could go up, but a 1/1 goblin isn't. It just isn't too exciting. But if I happen to have one of these in my deck, making a 1/1 every turn for free isn't bad by any means.
Right. Um,
Oh, whoa, whoa! I'm sorry. We
yeah,
skipped one?
yeah. We
We
skip
skipped one.
Hollenberg Siege.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's No, we can finish up the Windcrag Siege and we'll go back because
Yeah,
I already
we're
went
here.
over
We're
it.
here. Yeah. So I like this card. It's a three for me. The doubling of trigger abilities. Uh, always it's always a fun one to have, especially in this Mardu deck. Like we've seen some of the Mardu cards that like the mobilize ability, getting at the trigger twice, or getting four of those 1/1 guys that don't can't be sacrificed
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. As well as just at the beginning of upkeep, getting a 1/1 red goblin and giving it lifelink and haste until the end of the turn, which is just a nice little okay, huh? Here's a pinger. Here's
Right.
a smack to the face. Or if I need to sacrifice that, because like I said, you can choose whichever side depending on what deck you're using. They both do something that can be beneficial. Like on the Jeskai side, I'm still running Mardu. I'm giving myself 1/1s to swing in with and then sack off because I need them for a sack ability or whatever have you. So I really like this card. I think it provides a nice um, a nice little versatility. So I give it like a 2.53.
Okay. I gave it a 2.5 myself. I think it's solid. I think you could play this at least one copy, but I think multiple copies you're sacrificing value because it's ETBing not doing anything. So you have to account for that in some way. And even when it does the thing, it is doing it slowly, incremental value. And if you have ways to utilize those things, that incremental value, great. But if not, you're just making that 1/1 that can be easily blocked, X, Y, and Z, and you're going to lose value over the turns.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you don't have to attack with them because it's not. They don't come in attacking. So, like, literally, you can just from turn three, you can just start building up those one
Oh,
ones.
yeah, just to save, just put in the bank. I still give
Yeah,
it a
so
2.5 though.
for sure, for sure. I was like, I see those. Like, I see the benefit of like, okay, cool. And again, because it's near the best guy colors, I'm like, man, I could that flame hose stronger. Getting to double up one of these would be amazing. The
Mm,
Jet Sky or the Wind Crack or the Frostcliff Siege, doubling up those with the flame hose stronger would just
for sure. You're not wrong.
delicious.
Right. All right, so let's go back. We skipped Hollow Merc
Yeah,
Siege.
Siege.
It is black green. That's the cheapest one we've seen so far. Enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Sultai or Abzan. Sultai, whenever a counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. And Abzan, whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains menace until end of turn. Man, there's going to be some sweats playing this card right here.
Yeah, it's a three for me. I think these Sieges do a great work. Having two options as well as having both options benefit. either side so heavy so that you, no matter which version of the deck you're running, you can still find value in it. It's like, yeah, that it's these are some really well designed enchantments.
Right, right,
Um, so first off, the whenever it counts put a creature control draw comes the check on once it's turn. That's okay. That's average. That's okay. But in the day that is putting counters, that's free draw, which um we won't like turn away, especially if you have ways to put counters on your stuff during your opponent's turn, because that's like at least two free cards a turn, like
right.
or a cycle, if you will. And the ads in again, I don't know if you could double it and limit it, but if you had two of these, like they feed each other. They are like, oh, okay, hey, I'll put a 1/1 counter on something when it attacks, so you can draw a card. You know what I mean? So if you
Yeah,
put, since you had, this was just speaking, in general play style of having two. I doubt you'll have two. It's a rare. You know what I mean? This would be more so a standard mindset. But just think about playing the card. I'm like, yeah, I give it a three. The second part of the ability is the main part of the ability. Whenever you attack with a 1/1 counter target attacking creature, it gains menace. That's nasty for almost any other like combination of keywords that a creature may have.
right,
Oh, I'll give it another 1/1 counter and menace. If it has death touch, that's disgusting. If it has life link, that's disgusting. If it has whatever you want to give it, trample, that's disgusting. You're in black, you're in the black and green colorway. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Hollow Merc Siege. It's only 2 mana too. That's ooh.
right. So once again, well, I like it. You got to have the right cards to go with it. If there's
Mhm.
no space for it, I would be a little wary to play it. But it is only 2 mana. Whenever a counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. It only activates once each turn. So if you have an instant way to do it on your opponent's turn, that's just another way to draw a card. Whenever you
Yeah, that's
attack,
what I'm saying.
put a 1/1 counter on the attacking creature, it gains menace until end of turn. That's a great ability. Now it's an
Mm-hmm.
ability that doesn't necessarily stack as far as menace goes. But say you did play two of these and you're like, oh, I got plenty of cards. Whenever I attack, I'm putting two 1/1 counters on my creature. What? That could
Yeah,
be insane. So yeah. Um I'll give this a three as well. I think anybody running green black is going to be happy to run at least one copy and maybe even two or three copies of this.
for sure, for sure. Like I think like it's so cheap and so beneficial. Like even if you don't know which one you want to choose at the time of playing it, it's like I mean I'm going to benefit from this in some way because the abilities are so similar in their use, and I can find ways to help build around it during the deck building process. Just make sure I have some ways to drop counters.
Right. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to.
So we're on the glacial wood, right?
Yeah, you want to read that one off?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
For sure.
Ooh. Glacial Wood Siege, one green, a blue, and enchantment. As this enchantment enters, choose Teamer or Sultai. Teamer, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 4 cards. You may play lands. Oh, sorry, Sultai. You may play lands from your graveyard. So this one seems like the most build aroundy. Like okay, I need to be building around this card. Because it doesn't necessarily progress the board in an offensive sense. It more so gives you various strategical advantages. Like, all right, cool, you pay an instant sorcery spell, and as a result, you get to get rid of a random 4 cards from anybody, yourself if you're playing reanimate type stuff, or the opponent if you have enough instants and sorcery that you feel like you can mill him out, or just want to get rid of some possible threats. The Sochai, you may play lands from your graveyard. I think that just goes without saying is always a nice ability, but the only way that ability is truly, going to be seen as beneficial is if you're milling lands in the first place, or you're discarding lands because you need to, because of some type of draw spell. So, that's just the one thing I can. I would say that the second ability is going to be very, very specific. Like, I'm not saying you won't get lands in the graveyard. We always get, we often have some lands in our graveyard, but not, enough for that ability to be effective long term. It's like, okay, we'll get the one or two lands we milled or discarded back for another card that we use.
Mm.
As opposed to the instant and sorcery side that no matter what, whenever I play instant sorcery, somebody got to get rid of four cards. And four cards is a lot. Like that's 10 instants and sorcerers to win a limited game.
So personally,
Not saying I would do that,
I
but
like Glacial Siege because, well, Glacial Wood Siege because if there's enough instances, so like say there's a one mana bounce spell in this set with all these crazy big costing things, bro, I'm gonna run this two, three copies of this, run all those bounce spells or removal spells, and next thing you know, your 40 card deck is gone.
yeah, but the thing is, like, right. So in standard, I can see you getting two or three copies of this, but I don't see you pulling through because it's a rare one.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
so it's a rare, so the chance of you getting two copies are already going to be really high. Well, the chance of you getting more than that will be, But what I will say is that the top half, like, yeah, that's the half I like the most. The being able to mill for four every time you play instant sorcery is going to be so beneficial. So if you get set up, hold on one second. The wife from Clint.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, only one part of this card seems really good, and that's the teamer part. Um, Milling four cards at any point in the game for an opponent could be devastating. Doing it twice is devastating. Doing a third time is even worse. So one copy of this card I don't see as being at least too bad. I would at least have it at 3.0. And if you build around it, I think it could go up to a 4. Because if I have one, two, and three costing things, then once I play this, it's actually like removing the things off the board, giving me value, and I'm still milling them. They're cooked up. They're done. So I'm gonna give it a 3 for now. We'll get Samaj's input on it when he returns.
Yeah, right now it's a 2.5 to me because like I said, the things where like obviously I know what we and limited you want to try to build around, but the things where I feel like I need to focus too hard on as opposed to them like proving their own existence. I'm like they're getting a slightly lower evaluation from me just because in my recent playing on these events or whatnot, it's the things that like, oh, I didn't have to build around you. You validate your own existence throughout this game have been like the most beneficial cards. So for me, it's a 2.5.
Okay, okay. Next is Yathan Road Watcher. Was that the last of those?
And I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, that's the last siege.
All right. Next is Yathan Road Watcher. It's 4 mana, one generic white, black, green creature, human scout, rare. When this creature enters if you cast it, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a 3/3.
I like and dislike this card.
Okay.
So and this is why I've been liking and disliking. I like this this card. One, I like the fact that when it comes in, it has the ability to return a creature with mana value 3 or less from the graveyard. I do not like milling 4 cards to do so, and the get back all I get is one thing.
Mm,
Maybe that's just a personal opinion. Four drop 3/3 also makes me mad with no other keyword abilities like no trample, no menace or nothing. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this for children.
I'm
What
not a
about you?
fan of it at all. 4 mana for
Okay,
three
cool.
three. I'm just like, man, I'm probably never gonna be looking at this card, especially in the rare slot. I'm like, there's so
Yeah,
many
man.
other
You know,
things.
like I really need to see what other 3 drop cards. Okay, I guess this 3 drop card over here, you can go back and get this priest. Like I'm just trying to think of something like different for the limited set that it would be able to grab. So like I don't know. It looks like there's some nice 3 options to bring back. I don't know. Probably a 2.5. Probably a 2.
I put
If
it
I'm
at
being
one
honest
for
with you.
me. I was like,
Okay.
I doubt there's a time where I'm like happy to have this as my rare. Like, oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah. See, yeah. You're right. That is a good point. I'm never gonna be happy to see that my rear now. If this comes by, like gets pushed over to me from someone, I'm like,
I got
okay,
it.
cool, whatever. Yeah, okay, I got it.
But even me,
But then,
I don't want to have to mill four cards to start with. I don't want to have to mill four cards just to play a 4 mana 3/3. And then, I mean, what if I don't even have creature with mana value 3 or less in my graveyard? What if I whiff? Bro, now I'm real upset.
fair enough.
Now, I will say this though. If it said mana value 4 or less from the graveyard, this was a 4 mana like 4/4, still white, black, green. This card turns around and still mill four of your own cards. I'm like, okay, cool. But with how it's set now, it seems like somebody was like, no, we can't do this and we can't do that and it can't do this. Like this was almost a good card.
Yeah, almost the cards are there. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
All right. Next we're going. So you gave it a what now?
I gave it a two.
Okay. Oh, oh 1 second.
Oh, this next one though.
All right. Next we have Fang Keeper's Familiar. 4 mana, one generic black, green, blue creature snake rare with flash. When this creature enters, choose one. You gain 3 life and surveil 3. Or you can destroy target enchantment. Or you can counter target creature spell. It's a 3/3. This is solid.
This is yeah, that's super solid. Way more, like seems way more valuable. It has options that you can use it for yourself. Options that can you can use for when your opponent's doing some funky shenanigans. I'm a big
Right.
fan.
It can destroy a
I,
saga that's giving you a lot of problems. It can destroy one of
mhm.
these enchantments we were just talking about. These sieges that's been giving a lot of problems. So it just
All
kind of
while flashing,
fits.
yeah, all while flashing in to be an appropriate block.
Right. And it can counter like, oh, you finally got your big bomby creature that you wanted to play. Oh, no, thank you.
Nope.
Let's just counter that. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
liking
I'm
everything about this card.
3 5, 3 5 for
Yeah,
me.
same here. Same here. It's not just an overwhelming bomb, but it is efficient. Now, if it's a low cost format, like if people do not go the overcosted big fun spells route, it's gonna lose value. But if they do, oh man, delicious. Next, we have New Way Forward. It's 5 mana, two generic blue, red, white, instant rare. The next time a source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. When damage is prevented this way, New Way Forward deals that much damage to that source's controller, and you draw that many cards. I'm gonna put this as a one. I just feel like that's hoops that I don't want to play with. What about you?
Uh, uh, it seems like a lot for a redirect
Right,
for with a spell. Like, yeah, cool. Like, I don't know because it can be really good or really bad. Like, this could prevent a lot of damage from a singular sword. It's like, oh no, I'm gonna stop that 10 damage. Then I'm gonna deal that damage to you, and then draw that many cards. Right. So but it's 5 mana, holding up 5 mana to hopefully get a strong redirect in.
right.
Maybe I'm highly underestimating this card, but it seems like very a lot to hold up for. Like I feel like if I see a person holding up 5 and just got cursed, I'm immediately assuming it's this. You know,
So
like oh, like okay, I'm going to not swing at you with the biggest thing and just try to divvy out the damage to other things.
So I just would hate to have this in my hand and either never have anything to do with it or have something that is way less than 5 mana worth of value to do with it.
Yeah, like if I'm not preventing at least 5 damage, this card makes me mad. Because preventing 3 damage to draw 3 cards and deal 3 damage back to you, I'm sorry. That's I get it. Maybe it is worth 5 mana. Stopping someone from dealing 3 damage to you, dealing 3 damage to them, and drawing 3 cards. Maybe that's worth 5 mana. Like it's preventing the damage that's being done to you. But I would want it to be a decent amount of damage. Like this, because it doesn't say combat damage, right? It's just anytime a source will deal damage,
Right, right.
right? So yeah, I guess. So, I, so how does that work during attacker? Do I get to choose?
Yeah, when you're so it's source of your choice will deal damage to you this turn. I mean, I guess it would. Yeah, if they deal damage to you that turn, it would work.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, yeah, a source of your choice. All right, all right. So yeah, I guess you guys just pick whichever creature you wanted to pick. But the thing is, like, it's so reactionary. Like, I have to wait for you to make that choice and hope you make that choice and hope I can divvy up on that choice. And I don't like not having the option of where I can redirect the damage. Like you got to take it to the face
Instead of a
as opposed
creature.
to me. Yeah, as opposed to me taking out another creature if I wanted to. I don't hate this card. This card is nice. 2.5. It could possibly even be a 3 depending on, because like I said, it's some strong boys here, but it costing 5 mana makes me mad.
Hmm. So yeah,
So what
I still keep it at a one. What are you rating it at?
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Okay.
Because my thing is, wasn't deflecting palm like 3 mana, right? Deflecting the Boros card that like basically redirected all the damage that person would have dealt to you that turn or a source of your choice. And this just lets you draw that many cards too. So it costing 4 wouldn't have been too big of a stretch. I think it costing 5 is really throwing this off.
Okay. Yeah, not my favorite. I might give it a try if it just comes across, but I wouldn't first pick it. Next we have
Um, not at all.
okay.
So yeah, not at all. You're the first pick it at all.
Next, we have Severance Priest. That's 3 mana, white, black, green creature, Degen Cleric, Death Touch. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non land card from it. If you do, exile that card. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiles card owners create an XX white spirit creature token where X is the mana value of the exiled card. I, it's a 3/3. I'll put it at for me, I'll put it at like a 1.5. I I'm gonna be annoyed by it, but this seems just annoying more than anything. That you go in my hand, you take one of my resources, but as soon as I drop this buddy, I get a resource back. Granted, it's not the same resource, but you might have took an instant of sorcery and turned it into a creature.
Yeah, and depending on what creature you decide to take, it depends on the backlash that you get. Because you can take a 7 mana card, and I'm just like, all right, I get a 7/7 spirit creature now.
Right,
Cool.
bro. This is a 1.0, bro. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with it.
It, even with it having depth touch, it has no way to protect itself. I mean, it's a sponge for removal. Like you're gonna want to blow it up
Right.
depending on what they took from you. So I can give it that, and it has depth touch, so it can attack. So I'll give it a 1.5. Like, hey, you can definitely play this card. It's just there's a lot of downside to it. You will have to be cautious about what you're exiling. Like, am I going to exile his 7 drop on turn 3, or am I going to exile the 4 mana thing so that I can really get what he's getting back and what he's able to play? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big. That's what it's going to be. Yeah, yeah. 1.5.
All right. You said 1.5?
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Teamer Battle Crier, green, blue, red creature, Orc Ranger. During your turn, spells you cast cost one less to cast for each creature you control. Each creature, each creature you control with the power of 4 or greater. It's a 4/3.
That's a 3.
During turn,
That's a 3 to
spells you
me.
cast cost one less to cast for each creature you control.
So all real is its existence alone is a 4/3 that reduces all your creatures by 1 because its power is already 4. Not
Yeah.
other creatures, right? Just creatures. So yeah. So he's already validated his existence as soon as you play him. Like, all right, boom, I decrease creature costs by one. And the more you play somewhat decently sized creatures, the easier it becomes to play those decently sized
Right,
creatures.
right.
Yeah, so that's like a fucking sorry, excuse my French, but it's like a French waiting to happen. Like you let him hit, you think nothing of it. It makes it easier for the next 4 mana thing to hit, which in turn makes it easier for the next couple of 4 mana things to hit, or 4 power things to hit. So
I'm rating it at a 3.5 myself. I really like the card. Three
yeah,
mana, 3 mana for a 4/3 is great stats. And then this can get out of control. You have two of them. It's reducing. No, no, it's not even just for itself.
I know
Any
it's true.
creature with power four
Yeah.
or greater is
So having
trigger.
two of them would be decreasing creatures cost by four over it
So the
because
thing,
they were both tricking each other.
the only issue is a lot of creatures are triple color that the ones we're talking about today. The
Yeah,
monocolors are gonna get a lot of benefit off of that, but if you're going into like him, he's not gonna ever reduce the cost of himself unless you can
yeah.
get that generic to pay for any other color.
Right. However, he will make sure that any of your small little guys, excuse me, ooh, sorry, none of your small guys become like take up much mana anymore, or your monocolor guys take up much mana anymore because of the decrease. So it allows you to slide them in without messing up so much mana for the multicolor spells.
Okay, okay.
So if I instead of me spending two red and a bunch of other colors, I'm just going to spend the two red and save whatever colors left over to play my other spells.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. You're giving it a three. I would probably
Yeah.
take it highly myself for limited. Just being a 3 mana 4/3 that can reduce cost, I think it's just pretty solid. Next we have Inevitable Defeat. 4 mana, one generic, red, white, black, instant. This spell can't be countered. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. Instant 4.5 for me. I will run
And
all the copies of this.
I'm about to say, even in the rare slot, that's like a 4, 4 or 5. Because, duh, I don't feel like I need to go through like some long winded explanation as to why that's good. Uh,
Right.
it's just speed, and I gain 3 life, and you lose the benefit. Oh,
Bro.
also,
So if I
you can't stop it at all.
so say the gods grace me with three of these. Bruh, that's 9 life I'm gaining. 9 life you're losing just in my deck by these cards existing while you're also losing three permanents. And it just goes up. I don't see why anyone would pass this card outside of just realizing that green, red, blue is the place to be and just being like, oh, this is a card that would probably make people go 5 color good stuff because they don't want to miss out on this being in the wrong colors, but they also know they gotta run this. All right. Next we have Dragonclaw Strike. It is 3 mana. This is one of those hybrid color descriptions. It's green/2 generic, blue/2 generic, red/2 generic. So you can either pay green or pay two generic, so on and so forth. It's a
Yeah.
sorcery, uncommon. Oh, we finally made it to the uncommons. Double the power and toughness of target creature you control until end of turn. Then it fights up to one target creature an opponent controls. So essentially a 3 mana or potentially a 6 mana hybrid card. You never want to play it for six.
It's a couple of combinations. It could be a 5 mana, it can be a 3 mana, or it can be a 6 mana because you can play 4 and a green, or 4 and a blue, or 4 and a red, or two, and so it could be a 3, 4, or 5. Yeah, 3, 4, or 5 or 6 card. Dang,
Right, right. You say it's a
I like
trample.
that, but I don't like that.
Well, if you're actually in the teamer colors, you're probably going to be
Yeah,
okay anyways.
yeah,
You're just going to
you're
be
gonna be
happy
fine.
seeing this because you're going to double up your 2/2 to a 4/4, your 4/4 to a 8/8, your 6/6 to a 12/12. At some point,
Your
this
5/5 elephant.
your five. So yeah, at some point, this is just gonna double up something massively huge. Hopefully, with trample, beat the other creature into the ground, and then just run over. Just straight up. So since we've already seen kind of what Teamer is gonna be doing, I'm gonna put this at 3.5. It's still got some hoops to go through. Solo, it doesn't do anything, but I think this is a high value removal spell or interactive play.
Yeah, I feel it. I agree.
3.5.
3.5 for sure.
All right. Next, we have Mammoth Bellow, 5 mana, 2 generic, green, blue, red, sorcery, uncommon. Create a 5/5 green elephant creature token. And it has Harmonize for 7, 5 generic, green, blue, and red. But if you already have a 5/5 elephant, you're only paying 3 mana to harmonize this by tapping your elephant.
Hmm. Now, mind you, that does like I'm gonna get another freaking elephant, so it won't really matter. So, but that's sorcerer speed, but still, it's just 5 for 5, a decent trade off for sure. And the harmonize makes so that even if you don't get the original value of it, you still can try and get some value of it later on.
Right. For me, this is kind of like a 3.0 still, though. It's like a 3. It's close to being a 3.5. Honestly, I
I
think
don't
this is where
know.
it
I
needs to
think
be.
it's so for me is a it's I'm trying to place this on the fact that like what would I place a 5 9 5 5 that didn't do anything, and it still be like a 2.5 to me. Even with this
Okay.
extra harmonize ability, it's still a 5/5 that doesn't do anything. Like doesn't have any extra abilities or anything like that. Great beater, love
Great
that.
beater, but that's it. That's all it does. Just
Yeah,
5/5 for
that's
five.
all it is. It's 5/5 for 5. So it's like if I would give a creature card for 2.5 for that. So I'm gonna stick with this 2.5
Even with the harmonize.
even with the harmonize because it's
Because on
just
one card, say you have two
yeah,
of these, that represents 4/5/5 elephants.
yeah, and I agree. That's fantastic, but I'm still investing 5 mana into it. This one turn, I'm not getting the other 5 until the next turn, and even still to get that 5/5, it's gonna
You gotta
cost me
pay for
tapping.
it.
I
Yeah,
gotta tap down the 5/5 I just got to make sure
I
I only pay
agree.
3 for it.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I think I was leaning too much towards that enchantment earlier that does things automatically
Hmm.
with upside, where this is a
Yeah.
little bit a lot less than that actually. All right. Next, we have Hardened Tactician. It's a 3 mana, one generic, a white and a black creature, human warrior, uncommon. You can pay one, sack a token, sacrifice a token, draw a card. It's a 2/4. Meh. I don't see my. I never like to sacrifice my things. I don't like doing it. I probably would never pick this card. It's not
That's a 3 for
unplayable, huh?
that's a 2.53 for me. That's a sack outlet for when they start trying to destroy stuff. I'm just gonna sack it, draw a card.
So you're gonna go with 2.5 or 3.
I'll go 2.5.
Okay,
I like the having a sack outlet to get rid of certain things to that are gonna die anyway.
for sure.
It's not turning those like say in a Mardu build, those people are gonna die at the end of the turn. Nah, that draw cards down.
I get you, and I see it being valuable. I just don't necessarily be prepared for that. Like I'm always like 1 mana shorter. I didn't expect something and I get cooked for it. All right. Next we have Keru Goalkeeper. It's 4 mana, one generic, a black, green, blue creature dragon, uncommon with flying. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard during your turn, create a treasure token. It has
Mm,
the ability renew. You can pay 5 mana, two generic, a black, green, and a blue. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put two 1/1 counters on Put two 1/1 counters and a flying counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery.
that's nice.
4 mana, 3/3. It's flying.
Now
It's not okay. Go ahead.
it creates. I was gonna say the stats can seem a little underwhelming at first, but then whenever one or more card leaves your graveyard during your turn, create a treasure token, and it doesn't activate only once each turn. It's problematic.
Okay.
Because I'm like, if I'm not mistaken, there was some exile multiple cards from your graveyard or stuff like that in these colors
Right.
that are literally just like basically, hey, treasure mine for you if you want it. No, no, no. Can you go back this way, please?
So for me, this card, 4 mana, 3/3 flying in soul type colors. I'm not overly just excited about the card. It would probably be. It's kind of like a 2.5 there for me too, because I don't know. I'm just not overly. I don't see a lot of cards leaving my graveyard, and this has an ability that the renew ability that can take it out of the graveyard, but it wouldn't trigger itself. I wish it had ability on itself so that like, okay, cool, I can do this and exile a card, pay one, exile something from a graveyard, or pay two or three or however many I needed to pay to be able to start generating this engine myself.
Yeah, but in the team or colors alone, like even just the we can go like look at the red. There's been multiple cards that have shown that hey, pull this card from your graveyard, do this card, put this card into the graveyard, and or exile it, and you may cast it. And like, okay, it benefits from those. Like, oh, okay, I will pay to exile this card, draw a card. Like those cards in limit that they got from was it this last set or was it the set before that? I ain't gonna waste too much time thinking about it, but the guys who had abilities that can activate in the graveyard. Like, oh hey, pay three, exile this, draw a
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
He gives you treasures for those. And it's like I can see that being really, really effective. Like even with that card earlier, the enchantment earlier that we were thinking about, that Glacier Word Siege, playing lands from your graveyard. It was like, oh, cool, I'm gonna play a land, get this, play a land, get this, me on myself for it. Why not? Come play a land and get a treasure.
For sure. So
I'm
what
not
what are
saying
you
it's
what
like pick first kind of guy, but I give him I give him a three. No, I give him a 2.5, maybe a three, depending on how often. Like, yeah, three, three.
I mean, I
The
would give him.
treasures,
Okay. I'm gonna give
it's
him
the
a
treasure.
2.5 because for me, I think I will have to put a lot of energy into figuring this card out to play it instead of it just being a slam dunk play for me. And if I have multiple drafts where I see myself overlooking this card, I probably would drop the rating. I think we should reevaluate these cards probably maybe if not every 2 weeks, maybe once a month at least. We have like 3 months of drafting to do. So I think after a solid month, I should have enough of an understanding to give it something.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's keep on going. Uh, we got Brushmaster. Do you mind reading that one off?
Not long. Just got Brushmaster, one blue, a red, and a white. Double strike. I'm already liking that. Prowess. Yeah, very simple, very straight to the point. 2/4 body. I like it. I like it. He the toughness means he's around to stay for a little bit. We didn't have a lot of orc monks. It's like the second or third one I've seen. But yeah, just I can't think of anything I don't like about his card. Maybe his power could be better, but he already has prowess and double strike. So yeah, I like it.
So 4 mana for a 2/4, I'm not a big fan of. I know, like you talked about earlier with the indestructible creature. Now, the reason I was so gun ho on that card is I like taking resources from the opponent. So even though he's not necessarily a removal spell, if I am able to get through, I'm able to start kind of whittling down some of the things that is in their build, helping them out. This card on paper by itself, it definitely needs other things to be somewhat good, or it can be chumped out, or honestly, to a certain degree, a 5/5 stops this. One of those elephants straight up walls this out, unless he has some kind of assistance. And with assistance, of course, he's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna start being a 3/3. I mean, a 3/5 with double strike, a 4/6 with double strike. But it does need that assistance. For me, I'm gonna put
Yeah,
it at a
yeah.
2.5. I don't think it's a bad card, but it's not just like.
That's pretty much where I had him too. Honestly, I had him at about 2.5, maybe 3. Like
Yeah,
he has the potential to truly take, not necessarily take over a field, like he can be removed and all that good stuff. But if he's supported in the right ways, like you said, like he does, just all right. What do you have? Because you have to have something.
right. And even looking at it, a 2/4 double striker on the ground is not an indestructible creature, but it got some solid stats. But I'm gonna keep it at
Yeah,
2.5 for now. Are you gonna go
yeah,
with
but it's tough.
3?
Yeah, it has a tough backside. Like so, like that 4, like it come into play. So that's why I said earlier, like it being a 2/4 does kind of concern me, but double strike and prowess kind of makes up for it because it's like, all right, I swing with it or I block with it, whatever, and you choose to block
Swing
it.
with it, block with it, swing with
Right.
it, block with it.
It's
Okay,
like so. Say you
mixtape
do
is
block
coming
with.
soon.
No, you already know the MTG.
Right, right.
But the 2/4 just getting playing one spell, making him a 3/5, and then depending on what that spell was, whether or not it was a pump spell or whatever, you're immediately like, all right, I'm out of range of you.
Right, right.
And the fact that it can kill some things on the first double strike, part of the double strike alone, I've always enjoyed that about cards. Like, give a double strike enough power to where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna smack you before you get a chance to hit back. So I probably still say 2.5, but big fan. No, sorry, 3, but big fan of the
Okay.
card.
Okay, we'll give that a 3. All right, going on to the next one. Jeskai Shrine Keeper. It's 5 mana, 2 generic, a blue, red, white, creature, dragon, uncommon, flying haste. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 1 life and draw a card. It's a 3/3. Off top, 5 mana, 3/3. I'm not too happy about, even though it's flying and haste. Um, it does gain you life and draw a card. I think people are going to beat my face with it unless it gets blown up for uncommon or common removal spell. I'm gonna give this a 2.5 as well.
Yeah, so now I'm just thinking about some of the cards and going over and how 3 seems to be the sweet spot for amount of damage dealing, so it does fall into the removal spell for it seems a lot of the cards we've looked at so far. Like even an enchantment that deals 3 to everything. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. It having haste is cool, but I'm not trying to invest 5 mana to deal 3 damage to your face, even if it gains me a life and draws a card afterwards. Like,
Right.
there's nothing stopping you from killing that right afterwards.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like, man, is the juice worth the squeeze?
Like, cause right now, like, so what I'm looking at, because it's so vulnerable and because it's so like its stats fall so low, it's a 5 mana deal 3 damage, gain a life, draw a card. The body doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Like, and that's how I'm seeing it. Like, because it seems so wallable by any of the other things you can have here that have flying or also dragons. So I just have to see. 5 mana is a lot to invest.
So what you're giving it?
2 right now.
A 2. Okay. Now I didn't give it a 2 because I was like, the deal. Anything that says draw a card on it is a low key kind of a sleeper. Like I just got to see how it plays because pretty much anything that says draw cards can be good. So that's why I went on and gave it the 2.5. But I could see how it could be a 2 or even less if it's not ever dealing that combat damage.
Right, I just hate to play this turn 5 and like still be walled out. You know, like, oh, you got a 3/4 flyer, so I can't even swing in, or oh, you got a 3/1 flyer. I can't swing in because I can't deal damage to it. I just spent all 5 of my mana playing this 3.
Hmm. So we got like 4 or 5 more rows, and we've been at it for like 2.5 hours. The rest of these, cause I just want to get some familiarity. If there's something to
Yeah.
really speak on, we can. But for the most part, let's just try to jam these ratings out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm down to just run straight through these. Armament Drag is the next one, right?
Right, right. So it's
Gotcha.
you go ahead.
Armament Dragon, 3 white, black, green, flying, 3/4. Whenever this creature enters, distribute 3/1/1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 target creatures you control. I think it's very simple, straight to the point, and I like it.
Yeah, it's a three
Um,
four as well
yeah, and is it other creatures? No, it's not even other creatures. So technically, this is a 6 drop, 6/7. Um,
with flying.
with flying. So yeah, this is a great card. This is a great card.
I'm giving a 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 for myself as well.
All right. Next, we have Carry Kick Guardian. It's 6 mana, 3 generic, a green, blue, red creature, dragon, uncommon, flying, vigilance, and trample. This creature has hexproof is if it hasn't dealt damage yet. So I guess that's in during the entire game. And then it's a 6/5,
Uh,
so a 6 mana 6/5 with flying, vigilance, trample, and pseudo hexproof. What
yeah,
else can you ask for?
so I love the card. This creature has text proof as long as it hasn't done damage. It's basically it's useful, but it's basically useful as long as you don't want to use that guy as a beat stick it's supposed to be. Which is why I believe it's uncommon. This ability has been placed on another card, I believe, like Raquette. I know it's a lot, but it's not impressing me at all. Like it's still 2.5, maybe 3 for me. It's still
Okay.
not like the stats are great, but the pseudo hex proof mean nothing to me.
I'm gonna give it a 4. 6 mana for a
Oh, okay.
6/5 flying vigilance tramply boy. That those stats by itself, I don't care if it had hexproof or not. And the fact that I get to play this and have a free turn of protection, I was almost willing to rank it a bit higher. Yeah, yeah,
I
am I
guess
gonna be able to like once I swing it's vulnerable. But I would think that I would account for that and have counter spells or some kind of hexproof pump or interactive spell to keep my flying vigilant trample beaten where it's supposed to be beaten.
I don't disagree. And like I said, I'm probably end up being too harsh on the card because like the card I'm thinking of is this. It's exactly this card. I think minus trample is a 6/6 flying vigilance and it's hexproof as long as it hasn't done damage this time. So for me, like it's playing the card. It'll probably be different in this set. It'll probably different in limited. But to me, it was just like, all right, cool. It'll get out there. They'll say, okay, cool. We'll give you a turn. And then as soon as you decide to attack, because they'll the damage in it. So I don't dislike the card at all. I see why it's common. It's uncommon. Excuse
Right.
me.
So next we have Frontline Rush, 2 mana, red and white, straight up Boros, instant, uncommon. Choose one, create 2/1/1 Goblin creature tokens, or target creature gets X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
That's a great card.
Bro,
It's a great card.
I would play infinite of these. What do
Yeah,
you mean?
that's gonna do numbers in standard. Right, let me say that right now. This front line versus is going to do numbers in standard. Instant speed. Yeah, okay.
Bro,
I,
what?
I can get 2 goblins on your turn. If I have another one of these, I just got plus X however many creatures I got on my turn. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna rate this a 4.0. I might be rating it a little too high, but this is the kind of pump spell I like. A pump spell that makes me creatures, so it does. If I can't use it right then, I can use it for something else. The mobility, if the utility of it is just too great to pass up. It's honestly maybe a 4.5, but I just got to see how the format goes.
I have concurs with fairly on my books. Probably a 4. If
Okay,
3/5 or a 4.
okay, you want to go 3, 5, or 4?
I'm going through 5 right now, and I'll probably reevaluate once I see the rest of the set.
Okay. Next, we have Glacial Dragon Hunt, blue, red, sorcery. Draw a card, then you may discard a card. When you discard a non land this way, Glacial Hunt deals 3 damage to target creature, and it has Harmonize.
That's amazing. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay.
That's a 2 drop draw spell, but there's not many of those out right now. Right? There's not many of them, especially because they always try to stop. Even though it's just one card, it's a 2 drop draw. Boom. 2, replace yourself. Right? If you don't want to discard something. Then if you drew something that you didn't like or you had another card you didn't want to keep anyway, you can discard that card and deal 3 damage to something. So it's a removal spell as well if you want it to be. And then to top all that off, I can do it again. I just do it again by tapping down a board drop. Yeah, that's nice.
Right. So what are you gonna
That's
rate it?
nice. Three. I'll give it a three for sure.
That's what I rated it as well. I think there was just too many instances while I was reading this card where I felt like it could have been better. But I do know people are gonna abuse it. They're gonna be like, three damage target creature and get card value. I'm cycling through my whole deck. I really wish this kind of said any target, or not saying it needed
Mm-hmm.
both, but or draw. Discard a card, draw two cards even. But just a one for one, I'm not necessarily just happy with. It's like, okay, cool, thank you. I don't go hungry tonight, you know? All
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it.
right.
I think because it's so cheap, I think that's why I like it because it's such a cheap trade. Like, oh, 2 mana, bunch of upside.
Yeah,
Like you get the draw card, find what
I,
you need.
I think this card could have been, I guess it's me being greedy. This card just could have been a lot better, but if it would have been a lot better, it probably would have been broken at 2 mana. So
Fair
next,
enough.
next we have Sonic Shrieker, 5 mana, two generic, red, white, black, creature, dragon, uncommon. Flying, when this creature enters, it deals 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. If a player is dealt damage this way, they discard a card as a 4/4. Man, I'm running all of these. What are you talking about?
I like that. So it has pseudo removal. 4 drop that gains you 2 life, just deals 2 damage to them, and then forcing them to get rid of something that they might have wanted. Yeah,
I'm gonna give this a
and it's
solid
flying.
4. I'm gonna give it a solid 4. The mana cost is not my favorite I must say, but 5 mana 4/4 that ETBs and gets value immediately and discards a card. It might even be if this was 4 mana, it would be a 4.5. And if this was just a 3 mana card, it'd be a straight up 5.0. Just perfect
I
score.
think I think it's a three for me.
Okay.
And the reason I had in 3 spot is because that ability is only on the enter. If you attacked and force someone to discard a card, or attacked and force them to lose 2 life, you gain 2 life. I'd like this card way more, and I'd
Right.
be okay with it costing 5 if I can keep recurring one of those abilities. With them only activating once makes it a decent card for sure. But a card I'm just like, all right, cool, you came and you did that thing for me. Now hopefully you're effective moving forward.
I guess for me, this is a card that even though it's 5 mana, if I had four of these in my 5 mana slot, I would not be upset. It is a 5 mana 4/4, so that puts a stick in the air. What was it going to be 5 turns? They're dead. Not only that, a little less because I'm going to be dealing. I dealt 2 damage and gained 2 life. Maybe gave me some cushion. If I do have multiple copies, that even stacks to 4, 6, 8, depending. And I'm multiplying the amount of turns it takes. Well, dividing the amount of turns it takes to actually kill them. So I see a lot of different pieces of value in the card, even though it still is, in my opinion, overcost. That's the only reason
I
I won't
feel it.
give it anything higher than a 4.
I got you. I see the benefit of having multiple copies of it. I see what you're saying, especially even like just looking at the card next to it.
Yeah,
I don't keep it as a three right now, but I can read that next one when you're ready.
yeah, I'm ready.
Corey Mountain Stalwart, 1 red and white flaring. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So it seems like that seems to be a common theme in the Mardu Boros, like that you lose, I gain
Right.
uh, type deal. So I guess, like I said, even seeing this card kind of like bumps up Sonic Trigger to like a 3/5 in my book because it's like, oh, okay, cool, you got other guys out here starting to work for you.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, I
yeah,
think the card is okay. It's a 3 mana 3/3 in the Mardu colors, and we already talked about that 2 mana one that makes the monks or whatnot. If Mardu, not Mardu, but what's red and
this
white?
guy.
Boros. No, if Boros by
Uh,
itself is just
oh yeah,
playing cheap spells and whatnot, we that might be the aggro deck that can undermine what could essentially be a full 5 color good stuff format.
Yeah, it's looking like it's like my thing is like again, like the more I see these two color cards, the more I am convinced that the route to go is going to be hard two colors splash of a color lightly. Because like right now, even with Boros, I can see it being red white, and then if you want to splash the black to make sure you can play something like a Sonic Shrieker or the multiple copies of Sonic Shrieker that you got, it's like okay, perfect.
Right,
I would put it one or two black. So, because I know that this is mainly red, white, and it's doing basically the same thing.
right,
For
right.
you to be doing that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
even give this a rating. Personally, I'm just gonna give it like a honestly, it's like a
Two,
two. I wouldn't.
2.5. Yeah, I would say 2.5. Two. I say two. Having to play two spells a turn sucks. Like not
Right.
it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck, but just oftentimes you want to play a spell, hold up some reaction, play a spell, hold up some form of reaction. So you would miss out on that double spell unless you just straight up do it.
And real quick, thank you for the follow, Raguth. Hope I said that right. Hope you're doing well today. If you have a moment, say hello in the chat, and you can let us know what's your favorite Magic card or what's your favorite color. I mean, color in the color pie or both. All right,
Oh man, thanks for the follow, man. Thanks for the follow.
for sure.
Kishala.
So did you go 2 or 2.5?
I went to having to play two spells when and limited you're often unless you're trying to flood the board towards the end there, you're often trying to play a spell and hold up some interaction. Now this, cause especially by the turn three when you play this guy, like once you get to that turn four, maybe you're trying to play two drop. So for the most part, you're gonna drop a four drop or drop a three drop, then drop a three drop or a four drop or a five drop or whatever. But you're not gonna be playing two spells very often to get the benefit from that.
Right,
Three drop
right.
three is nice though.
And the system kind of messed up. Did you give Sonic Shrieker a 3 or a 2.5?
I gave Sonic Shrieker a three.
Okay. All right. Next is
Gotcha.
Kishla Skimmer. Green blue. Creature bird scout. Uncommon. Flying. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your
I,
turn, draw a card. This ability
I got
triggers.
just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Um, whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's a 2/2. Already, I'm loving it. I'll probably run as many copies of this as I could. Two mana, 2/2 is already great stats on the flyer. And then whenever a card leaves your graveyard during your turn, you draw a card. That's just upside if you have some kind of ways to pull it off. I wanted, I think it's better than average. I probably would first pick it, but it's not like as good as some of the other stuff I've seen. Just as a whole, it's just a solid 2 mana, 2/2 flyer. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5. We'll see what Samaj gives it when he returns, if he still wants to put input on it. And he has access to this spreadsheet we're working on, so we can always update it later for him. Next, we have Bone Cairn Butcher. It's 4 mana, one generic, red, white, black creature demon with mobilize 2. Attacking tokens you control have Death Touch is a 4/4. Whenever this creature attacks, create two tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior tokens. Sacrifice them at the next end step. That's solid.
Yo. I am back. I will say that first off, I'm pretty sure you're already past the bird. Um, is that a bird? Yeah, the bird scout. Um, from reading it, I'm giving it a three. Like just like, oh, this is a nice card. I can see how it can be beneficial. 2/2 on a 2/2 flyer off rip, just great stats.
Right. I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, the leave the graveyard stuff is always like I said, I can see how that might not be super easy to do, but it's kind of like one of those things that people will forget about, and then kind of come in handy in the late game.
And that's why I gave it the upside of the point 0.5 because I was like, if it was just a 2 mana 2/2 flyer for two or whatever, I'm like, cool. That's really still better than average, so it gets a 3.5. The extra part is so niche. I don't expect it to happen enough for me to be like, okay, cool. That just bumps it up to a 4. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good card.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Second part will be very, I guess, situational at best, but not something I would look forward to like counting on.
And so going on to Bone Karen Butcher, I already read it off, but essentially it's a 4 mana 4/4 in the Mardu colors with mobilize 2, making the 2/1/1 red warrior tokens that sacrifice at the end step. But token attacking tokens you control have Death Touch. I think that's just a powerful global ability, especially if you know you're making token, like your deck is the token deck, and you know, okay, cool, I'm running this dude, and even if I can't attack with him this turn, the other tokens, not even warrior specific, the other tokens I have all have death touch. Deal, deal with this.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a 3.5 in my book, especially seeing how the mobilize and token stuff works. Like I can attack with a mobilized creature I don't necessarily care about too much, and the tokens he make will come out having death touch. Not to mention whatever other abilities that you will be giving tokens or worldwide abilities you will have from the Mardu color. Because that seems to be what they're doing. The across the board abilities like oh your tokens or your creatures get haste or death touch or +1/+0 or whatever.
Right. So what are you gonna give? What are you gonna rate it?
I'm going to give it a 3. I really like the card. I like the tokens having death touch seems to be super. It may be a 3.5 because like the stats are on it are really nice too. 4/4 on the 4 body.
Yeah, that's why I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, I think I may go ahead and give it that 3.5 because, like I said, decent stats, really powerful board presence as far as once it hits. I would want to see it if I'm in those colors.
For sure, for sure. All right, let's move. You mind reading the? Well, give me a second. You mind
Yeah, I
reading the
got you.
next one?
Yeah, host of the hereafter, creature zombie warlock. Uh, Two a black and a green. This creature enters with 2/1/1 counters on it, so it's a 4 drop 4/4 in actuality. Whenever this creature or another creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, put its counters on up to one target creature you control. I like that.
Hmm.
That is basically the Ozolith on a creature.
Right.
I mean, not necessarily the Ozolith, but there are pretty sure there's better examples. But you get what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you mean by the Azalu because it makes your counters immortal instead of typically if a
Yeah,
creature dies and the counters just go away with it as a part of the creature, but it's like no, those counters are going to remain on the board and they're going to shift to another creature, so that's really really powerful.
yeah, big fan of that, and not the fact that she comes in and puts two counters on the board herself,
Yeah,
giving
four
you
four for four.
right two to start playing around with. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. So the fact that her ability does include herself whenever this creature or another creature you control dies.
Now me,
So
I'm gonna still give her like a 4 4 for 4 is great. I'm still gonna give her a 3.0 because this isn't the type of effect that I think I would be too great at composing. I still think like so say this comes in and it just dies. You don't get any value. You just have a 4 mana 4/4. Now, if it comes in and it dies with another creature on the battlefield, you then get the upside of the two counters shifting over to that creature. That is undeniable. But until that happens, this is a 4 4 for 4.
yeah, 4/4 for 4. That she validates her own existence as long as she survives as time goes by. You know,
I
like
feel like she could be a 3.5. I feel like that's what she needs to be, but I got to see it in action.
yeah, and that's the rating I was going to give her. I was like, this is a 3.5 to me. I see turn one, turn two, you trying to get a creature out, and if not, turn one, turn two, turn three for sure you get a creature out, drop her turn four. So now they got a choice to make. All
Right.
right, do I want to destroy this 3 drop so that he can't get the 1/1 counter, or do I want to destroy this 4/4 so that that ability doesn't become a problem prolonged? Right, so they can't destroy it right then. Oh, perfect! I play another creature that can either get counters or put counters somewhere else. So now there's like, all right, double prolonging. There's more counters on the board you have to deal with.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think 3 or 5 for me
For
personally.
sure. Next, we have Effortless Master. It's 4 mana, 2 generic, a blue and a red. Creature, Orc, Monk, uncommon. Vigilance, Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by two or more creatures. And this creature enters with two 1/1 counters on it if you've cast two or more spells this turn. It's a 4 mana 4/3 with Vigilance and Menace. Uh, oh, well, no,
It's
no.
a
That's a 4 mana 6/5 with
it's a
Menace.
format you cast another spell this turn. So all right, so first let me just say right now, one, I think that this is a great card on its own. I think 4 mana 4/3 with vigilance and menace is nice on its own. But I think a 4 mana 6/5 with vigilance and menace, as long as you play anything else the turn before, so any 1 drop, any 2 drop, is even better.
Right.
Like I can't see the downside of this card just yet.
So for me, 4 mana and limited is kind of that spot like, okay, cool, there's no room for error. So this doesn't come in and instantly create a problem for the opponent. Like, okay, cool, it's menace. I can probably double block it or X, Y, and Z. Like, there's options with it versus it coming down, ETBing, leaving something behind. Like, even Host of the Hereafter. If you happen to already have creatures with counters on them, you might be able to get a free trade there because they might have to block, letting that creature die that had a counter, putting that counter on Host of the Hereafter. Effortless Master, it's just gonna be so rare that I've already cast two spells this turn when this card is 4 mana in itself.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I feel like this isn't a 4 mana drop powerful card. I feel like this is a turn 5, turn 6 drop problem. Like, oh, I did just turn one of my 4 drops into a 6/5 as opposed to me playing one of my actual 6/5s.
Right.
Like it has the ability to be an average card and the ability to be a problem card amongst your other problem cards.
So what are you gonna give it?
I give it a 2/5, maybe even a 3. I'm gonna say 2/5 for right now, but like I said, I think it has the potential to be a 3.
I gave it a 2 myself, and I'll have to just see. I don't think it's gonna be impactful in this set, but that's yet to be decided.
Right. All right, who's next on our list?
Hold on, real quick. We had Raguth. Well, they said that they had a 10-minute wait for their first time to chat. But their favorite color is red, white, then green, then least favorite is blue. For sure, for sure. Thank you for
Oh man,
dropping it. Huh?
least favorite blue. Ah, I
Yeah,
understand. I was the same way.
because blue stops you from having fun. It stops people from doing things. It's like you always got to be afraid to even play the card versus getting to play the card and then letting it see like be destroyed. It's like okay, cool. At least I got to see it enter existence. This I don't
Yeah,
even get to see it enter.
that's why I learned to mix blue with all of my favorite colors so I can prevent them from preventing me from having fun. My favorite color is green, but now I play Simic because I'm just like, say less.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, prevent you from preventing me. Shoot, that's nice. Let me. I'm typing up a couple more ahead to
Yeah,
have
say
them
less.
ready. Mm. And I need to share my Instagram too. The Instagram get back active on there. All right. Next we have Lie in Wait. It's 3 mana, black, green, blue sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Lie in Wait deals damage equal to that card's power to target creature. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, this is like a this is borderline 4.5 for me. Um The only problem I got with it, the creature has to be in the yard already. So if you didn't put a creature card in your graveyard turn one, two, or by the time you want to play this on turn three, it's ineffective, making it a turn four card. So I'm gonna put it at 4. But the fact that I can get a card from my yard and blow something of yours up, I almost feel like that's a 5.
So here are my issues with the card, and this is why I'm giving it a 3.5 and not higher. I don't like that it's sorcerer speed. Boom, off rip, sorcerer speed is like, you angered me. Damn. Really wish I could play your instant speed because I would like to get the creature out of my graveyard on your turn so I can have the mana to play said creature card on my turn.
Right.
Leads me to my second point. It goes to my hand and not to the battlefield. Right? I know that's probably being greedy.
But you're not. I don't think you're being greedy because you're still giving it a really good rating. It's just not as good as it could have been.
Right, right. So
You
like
know.
that's just if it was instant speed and I could get the creature card in the graveyard, sure, it probably wouldn't cost three anymore. Like I can admit that it probably wouldn't cost three anymore. Like okay, it'll probably cost like maybe four or five. But I love the fact that it's also a fight spell. Like I won't step away from that. I'm like, oh, a reanimate fight spell? Yeah.
Is it a fight spell or just a deal damage spell?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it
let's
just
check.
deals damage. It's one sided.
Oh, it's a punch spell. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, bro. I gotta keep it at 4, and I really feel like it's actually a 5.0 because you're telling me I can go in my yard, get my creature, my bomb or whatnot, and punch one of your things in the face off the board for 3 mana. I got to see how it plays out, but I really feel like that's way stronger than I'm giving it credit for it currently.
Yeah, I guess I just have to see.
Right, right. I got two more cards I'm typing up and I'm ready to go. Do you have it pulled up on your screen? Can you read the next card? Or you have to have it on mine?
Give me 1 second. Let me hold on. I need you to scroll back over and yeah, defibrillating current.
Oh, we should be on a row procession.
Okay, that's not the card that's shown on the screen right now.
No, okay, I'm almost done with that. 1 second.
Oh, I can go back and pull up on my screen.
No, no, it's cool. It's cool. I was just typing ahead. All right. Next, we have a royal procession. Green, blue, instant. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Off bat, I've already heard so much commotion about this card, and it is not impressive to me.
I don't dislike the card, but I'm like, I don't. Yeah, it's not that impressive to me.
I'm giving it a 1. I mean, this is never going to be a card I open up my pack and be like, oh my god, I gotta take this Aurora Procession pack one, pick one. I mean, all the other cards in the pack have to be non-creature, non-removal, just pretty much non-draw, pretty much anything else for me to just pack one, pick one. This card, it doesn't have no value to me off top. It needs
Well,
another ability
I think the value of it is the instant speed part of it. Like, oh, on your turn, I can get a card you weren't worried about. Sure, you get to see it, but you don't get to see it to the end of your turn
right,
after
right,
know, as opposed to me searching for it on my turn and you getting a full turn to figure out what you're going to do about it.
right.
It's kind of
So
like it does the thing I was just talking about for lying weight, like just having that instant speed capability to, oh, at the end of your turn, I'm gonna do this, put it back in my hand, and now I have the mana to play it on my turn.
for sure. What
And
would
it's
you rate the card though?
I'd give it. I mean, a return from the any card. So any card period from your graveyard to your hand for two. I gotta get a three, maybe even a 3.5 because, like I said, it being instant speed made or break, like it was a make or break aspect. Ivy, hold on, I crack crack, yes. But it being instant speed made it a make or break because it was like, oh, I can play this whenever I want to. And for only two mana, yeah, for sure. You killed my 7/7 on my turn. Cool. I got a pass turn, whatever. I'm bringing it back, and I have the mana to play it at the end
On
of
my
your turn.
next term, yeah, I see the
Yeah,
upside in that, but on the front end, I just don't see it. So I'm still gonna stick with my 1, and I had to see if it blows me out again and again. I'll reassess my evaluation.
for sure, for sure.
Next, we have Marshal of the Lost, 4 mana, 2 generic, a white and a black. creature orc warrior uncommon with death touch. Whenever you attack, target creature gets XX until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures plus X plus X. It's a 3/3. I mean, this is not bad of a card. I'll I gotta the mana cost. If it was 3 mana with this ability, I would put it probably at 3.5. But at 4 mana with this ability, I'm kind of leaning 2.5.
I was thinking for the type. I don't know for the type of cards that Mardu has been showing us. I know that's Orzov, but with the type of cards Orzov is showing us, I'm putting this card as a three because we know that the mobilize ability makes them automatically attacking. So the X can be more than what it is, and on a creature like with Death Touch, like this creature, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make myself a 6/6. So like now, anything you put in my way, like even if you try to double block, yeah, I'm killing everything.
Right,
So I'm
right.
either you want to stay in the way of, or beat stick you don't want to be in the way of.
Yeah, I mean, we're not close. I mean, we're not far off in our evaluations of that card. It's just, for me, it's just a little not quite there. Um, the stats of 4 mana. So it has Death Touch on a 4 mana. What was it, 4/3 or something like that?
Three
No, a four
three.
mana 3/3. So at that point, with it being Death Touch, it might as well be a 1/1 at certain to a certain extent. I don't know. I just feel like something's missing with the card, like maybe one less mana to make it really pop.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I can see what you mean.
So next we have Stalwart Successor, 3 mana, one generic, a black and a green creature, human warrior, uncommon, menace. Whenever one or more counters are put on a creature you control, if it's the first time counters have been put on it on that creature this turn, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. Okay, so it just adds a counter to the counters you're adding.
Mm-hmm. It
Okay.
seems like it. Uh,
Raguth
hmm.
Raguth made a comment on that last card. He said when they attack, it's at least a 4/4, so it's at least average once it attacks. It
Oh
has a
yeah,
baseline stats.
true, true, true. So yeah, I think that yeah, I think I'll stick to where it was. He's right. It does become average.
Right. And I think that makes a difference for me as well. A 4 mana 4/4 isn't bad, but I'd rather have a 3 mana 3/3 or 2 mana 2/2. Anyway, move still going on to the successor. I kind of like it because it has is a 3 mana 3/2 with menace already, so it doesn't have the extra toughness, but baseline stats is not bad. A few of these is really gonna make your opponents hurt because they're like, dang, I got multiple 3 mana menace creatures to deal with, so I'm gonna put this as a three off top.
Yeah, so this is like a to me this is like a a strictly worse hardened scales on the body. So like I think it's cool. I think it's a really cool card. I would probably give it a 2.53 myself.
Okay,
Just double of the amount of one counters you put, even if it's just for the first time. That's the first time each turn.
what do you want to go?
Uh,
Do you want to go the 2.5 or the three?
Go 2.5 for right now. I do like it, but like I said, strictly worse hardened scales with a body attached to it.
For sure. Next, we have Skirmish Rhino, 3 mana, white, black, green. Creature Rhino with trample. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 2 life. You gain 2 life. It's a 3/4. Give me, I don't know, all of these.
And that's a 3.54 in my book.
I'm giving it a four off top.
I'm pretty sure Skirmish Rhino is a callback to Siegeback Rhino back during the first Takir days.
Yeah, because the only
The
thing it doesn't have is haste.
right, yeah, and it doesn't do three life instead of it does two instead of three, like the old one. Because I'm pretty sure Siegeback Rhino used to do three or four life when it came in, or something like that. And it was a 5/4 instead of a 3/4. I like this. I like this a lot.
What you
Um,
giving it?
I'm going to give it a 3.5 for sure. No, technically, I'm take that back. I'm going to get this a four. A three drop 3/4 with trample that gains you life and makes the opponent lose is just nice.
Right.
Uh, well within the colors to get more counters put on it and become a problem. Yeah, I'm a fan.
All right. Next card we have is Kentry Servants. It is a 3 mana white, black, green but it's also hybrid. So hybrid white, well, hybrid or white, hybrid or black, hybrid or green. We've gone through this.
So this is
Instant,
a three, 5 or 6 man, oh 6 mana card.
yeah, it's an instant uncommon. Exile target permanent with mana value 3 or greater. This is okay. This, I mean, this is good, but I'm pretty sure we saw something that destroyed something that was better earlier.
Yeah, I think it's an average card. I like the versatility in the mana cost. Like that it can cost as low as 3, or as high as 6 if you wanted to play it in a deck that didn't have these colors at all. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna give it a 3 for now. Could go up.
it's a yeah. I think I have to concur with that. It's 3 seems to be pretty baseline for something like this.
What Raguth, he also, well, they also agreed. I don't know if it's, anyway, they agree. They say 3 or 3.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have to
All
agree
right.
there.
Next we have River Wheel Sweep. That was yep. It is a 3 mana. Well,
Hybrid.
two hybrid or blue, two hybrid or red, two hybrid or white. Sorcery, uncommon. Tap target creature. Put 3 stun counters on it. Exile up to 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. This just seems a lot to only stun a creature. I'm putting it
Yeah, it's a 1.5 or a 2 for me. I was just sitting here thinking like that's a lot of work to go through to make sure I have all the right color just to stun a guy for 3 turns. Isn't it like a 2 drop blue card that
that
does that? Right? Like
we've had it before. Yeah,
yeah, like sure I get to exile the top 2 cards from my library and until the end of the turn I may play that card, but it's only to the end of the turn, so I gotta pay 3 mana, stun a guy, get a card, and then still have to pay for that extra card. Like I'm sure that there'll be cantrip like spells or small value spells to play in Jeskai, but that just doesn't seem worth it. Seems like a
right.
trap.
Seems like I wouldn't like. That's why I gave it a 1. Raguth says 2 to 3, but what are you saying?
Say that again, Clint. He said, "Is what now?"
Raguth says 2 to 3.
I'm giving it a 2. Like it's low. Like honestly, I might give it a 1.5. No, because it does take something completely out of the game for 3 turns. Like you got to give the benefit to that. Whereas dudes like, oh, you're just out of the attacking game for 3 turns. Cool. So yeah, I can see 2, but I wouldn't go higher than that because the second part of the barely means nothing to me. It's like cool. I guess something I might be able to play this turn. Otherwise, I just lose it.
The mana cost is what's killing it for me. This
Yeah.
is that's what's killing. I gotta have everything perfect, but I could be proven wrong. I think Raguth might be right, and you as well at the 2 to 3 range. But at the same time, I'd much rather have a 3 mana something that deals 3 to 4 damage and just blows up something and not even get the value of exile into my library versus tapping something down for 3 turns and they still get to sack it or use it or fight with it or use that resource in some kind of meaningful way that kind of just deters the fact that I took it out of combat for 3 turns. Okay, going on to Rakshasas. Yeah, Rakshasas bargain. Two generic or black, two generic or green, two generic or blue. Essentially 3 mana. Instant uncommon. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. A 2. It's not something I'm going to be overvaluing myself.
I don't value that highly either. I think I had it too.
And honestly, it could be at A1. It's not. It, I think I'm giving it a 2 out of respect because it does kind of get your card value, but at the same time, I don't care about that card. It might be a
I'm
1.
2 right now for the sake of it's like because right now the look at 4 is the best part of it. Like okay,
Right.
cool. Range of what you can look at is the best part of the card. And I guess because again, I've been trying to take into consideration the colors that it's in. Like it's in a good color scheme to be putting things in the graveyard, but it's just milling and putting things in the graveyard has always been very like 50-50.
Right.
Some be good, sometimes maybe shit.
All right. Next, we have defibrillating current. It is two generic or red, two generic or white, two generic or black. Sorcery, uncommon. Defibrillating current deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain 2 life. This is way more valuable than whatever that I think it was the red, white, and blue one. Jeskai, yeah, the tap target and put the 3 counters. I'd much rather play the Mardu version. Deal 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, gain 2 life, 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a three, but I do agree that this is more so what you want to more so the route I would take over the Jeskai route, just because okay, like, it does what you want to do. It'll give you 4 damage, it'll give you extra 2 life. Both of those things don't require any extra things to go right. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to have a playable card at the top of my deck. I don't have to worry about the card I'm trying to blow up coming back or untapping. It's just like, all right, kill something, gain 2 life.
You might be right on that 3.0 because it is a sorcery speed event here.
Hmm.
All right, next we have reputable merchant, two generic or white, two generic or black, two generic or green, creature, human citizen, common. Hey, finally made it to the commons. When this creature enters or dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It's a 2/2. So essentially a 3 mana best case scenario, 3 mana 2/2 that ETBs and puts a 1/1 counter on target creature. So it's a 3 mana potential 3/3, or gives it to something else. The mana is what's killing me here. I'm giving it a two.
So, so the thing with the hybrid mana is like I think the reason they are made like this is so that you can run these cards. Like I was saying earlier, the two color bills are going to. I feel like they're going to reign supreme. Like I'm really gonna again have to go through all in the sea, but I feel like two color bills are going to be the top notch splash in a third color, and I think they're built like this so that you can do just that. Put them in a two color heavy deck, and you put them in two colors based off the factions that share color types. So they had like Abzine and Sultai and Jeskai and Teamer, how they share certain colors. You can run that too, and then if you're not in the same color but still need to fill a card, you can just replace it with two generic mana. So I think that's though they're more iffy as opposed to them supposed to cost six. It's more so if I like go Abzan and Sultai, I can still play reputable or go Sultai. I can still play reputable merchant because I'll have the black and green mana. But since I'll have blue instead of white, I can pay two colorless mana to still play this card. Um,
I totally get that. Even at the end of the day, if I was to play this for say a white, a black, and two, it just takes the value significantly down. That's why I said best case scenario, these cards are three. That's where I'm kind of trying to rate them at because they get worse and worse the more mana I have to put them in, like put
oh, I
into it.
absolutely agree. They get worse and worse the more man you play them in. But I also think they're for some of these cards, not the, we're down to the comments now, but to some of these other cards we saw in hybrid, I was like, okay, cool. Them having a little upside and what type of deck they can be played in does add a little benefit to them. It's like you aren't just hard stuck Jeskai. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
don't have of Jeskai. I can play you in the alternate version or a different two color build.
For sure. So I'm rating it at a two. What are you looking to give it?
This bad boy probably I think two. Probably a 1.5. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, three drop.
So only
Uh,
reason I didn't give it any less than a two because we know for a fact it's gonna go in a good green black counters deck. No questions
yeah,
asked. They are gonna draft the mess out this card. They are gonna know
yeah,
they need it and whatnot.
because he does something when he enters and when he leaves. Even though
Yes.
his mana value isn't the greatest, he's doing something. It's once he's there and as he exits. So
I already know like they're gonna be like, oh delicious. Let me go hard in this counter strat. So you
fair
say
enough.
1.5?
I can give it a two. I can give him that two.
All right. Then moving on, there's Monastery Messenger. Two generic or blue, two generic or red, two generic or white. Creature bird scout common. Flying vigilance. When this creature enters, put up to one target non-creature non-land card from your graveyard on top of your library. It's a 2/3. I like this. I,
I like it too. I knew you were gonna like it when I read over it earlier. I was like, Clint's gonna like this card.
yeah,
It's fairly even stat wise across with the flying vigilance 2/3.
right, right. Best case scenario, it's a 3 mana 2/3 with flying and vigilance that ETBs and gets you one of your spells back to your top of your library. The utility alone is great to me. I'm still teetering towards 3, but I think my bias towards it leads me to like a 3.5. But red, white, and blue is best case scenario. If you don't hit red, white, and blue, this and you have to pay it for 4 or even 5 mana, it's below 3. So right now I think I'm gonna leave it at 3.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at 2.5 myself. Like the flying vigilance, like having three. That's a great. Those are just great. Some solid stats, which is why it'll get the 2.5. I'm not the biggest fan of the ability. Yeah, it's some type of recursion, but I don't want to mess up my draws.
Yeah,
Um,
well, see, my thing is, if it's something I want to replay, it's like setting up my draw. I would hope like, so if I have to go get a land and put on my top of my library, I'm not the biggest fan of that because I'm like, I needed lands anyway. It didn't do anything to the opponent. But if it's some kind of recursion on something to like interaction wise, I'm always happy because I know I'm gonna get to replay a spell that I had limited copies of anyways. I get to get that again for free. I didn't have to
yeah,
mill it or nothing like that. I got to play it and then get it back.
fair enough. I think for me, I think it's just a big part. Is like I would much rather put it back into my hand so I can have access to playing it and still have access to drawing something new, as opposed to playing this on the turn, putting it back on top of my deck, and then having to have a way of draw or wait till next turn to get access to it. Like I
True.
know it's
Raguth brought up that it only does creatures. I know it doesn't do lands. I was saying there's cards in limited that typically will put a land on top of your library, and I much rather not do that. I'd rather put a non-creature, non-land card from my graveyard on top of my or from my deck on top of my library than just tutoring up a land specifically to the top. So, and I get what you're saying too. You don't want to cover up your potential draws into something that was better. But I would be hoping that in a white, red, blue deck, I'm drawing so many cards that it just became a part of the extra draws that I was gonna pull off anyways.
fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Next we have Gurmag Night Watch. Two generic or a black, two generic or a green, two generic or a blue. Creature Human Ranger common. When this creature enters, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top of your library. Put the rest into your graveyard. It's a 3/3. I don't like this at all.
I don't either.
I'm gonna just straight up like everything you were saying that you didn't like about the previous card is everything that's like straight up on this card.
Yeah, I just do not like this card. And here's why I don't. Cool, three drop 3/3 stats even cool, cool. Give me a blocker or whatever, blah. But when it enters off rip, I get to look at the top 3 cards, which gives me a certain sense of cool. You would think I get a chance to set up how I want to put them back. No, I get to choose one of those cards, put them into my hand. So this is basically a 3 drop, draw a card, discard 2 cards, or sorry, mill 2 cards.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. So I'm gonna give it a 1. What are you gonna give it?
Ah, you gave it a 1? Nah,
Yeah, I gave it a 1 because best case scenario, yeah, it's best case
blocker.
scenario is a 3/3 for 3, which is average. But even at that best case scenario, I still don't want this card.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not a fan at all. Sure, I
Now,
think once.
the reason I'm not a fan is because this is not a May ability. I have to do that, so I have to
Yeah,
mill myself and then crummy up my draw with something I know I was on. Oh, it's like a bad surveil, bad scribe, bad selection. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. The more I see the black, green, blue cards, the more I realize I'm going to have to go and play like just some hardcore black, green, blue decks, so I
Right.
can understand why they even enjoy doing what they do. But, like
Right.
I understand it. Like I gotta get it. Like play it
What
and just figure it out.
what are you rating the card though?
Oh, this yeah, one, dude. I was gonna give it a zero for real, but I'll give it a one.
Oh man, you're saying it's totally unplayable. I didn't think it was
I,
totally
I don't think
unplayable.
it's yeah. That's why I say I can't give it a point five. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'll play you, but like the game plan that you're effective for is a game plan I have z- absolutely zero interest in trying to do.
Right. All
Yeah,
right.
so ugh, it's hard to care about you.
Next, we have Reigning Victor, two generic and a red, two generic and a white, two generic and a black. Creature, orc, warrior, common, mobilize one. When this creature enters, target creature gets 1/0 and gains indestructible until end of turn. It's a 3/3. I actually this card is actually pretty good. What? It ETBs, gives a creature 1/0 and indestructible until end of turn, and it has mobilize, which is just upside. I'd run multiple copies of this. If I knew I was going into Mardu and I had nothing else in my pack that was like remote, like I would possibly consider first picking the card. Shoot, indestructible is a great ability.
Yeah, I
Not
probably want to first pick the card for sure, but this is definitely be like a card I'm looking to pick up for Marduk.
right,
Mobile. So off rip, I'm gonna get one of those tokens, and then when it comes, excuse me, when it comes in, it's making something indestructible and plus one. It can't making itself would be unnecessary because it doesn't have haste, but it can make something indestructible.
yeah, I went with the 3.0 on it. Like I think it's like I might have been overboard with first pickable, but once again, if you know you're going in Mardu and you want to go in and lock that off, and you know you want to get 4 copies of this, yeah, it's going to be first pickable for you.
Fair enough. It's still a three for sure in my opinion, but it's more so I'm truly happy to have the card because the indestructible isn't forever. It's a one turn deal.
Right.
Um, and it's a 3/3 with another chance of aces of mobilize.
All right. Next, we have. Did you give your what rating did you give?
Sorry. I said three for the last one.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
last for the multicolored spells from Takir Dragonstorm is Teamer Tani back. Two generic and a green, two generic and a blue, two generic and a red. Creature beast common. When this creature enters, draw a card, then discard a card. It's a 4/3. I don't like drawing, discarding. That lowers the value for me. I'd probably put it at a 1.5. This card is
Man. Okay.
very low on
So
my radar.
so stat wise off rip, I have to give it. It gets 2.5 just off the stat block. 3 mana 4/3.
Right,
Uh, okay, off rip. That's solid for me. Enters the battlefield, and I will be able to draw and then discard a card, which the order of it matters to me a little bit.
right,
Uh, so getting to see what I pull into before I get ready to decide what I don't want. I do think the discard lowers its value, but I think it having a power of four in the colors that care about having power four or greater increases its value. Everything I've seen about Teamer is all about every time creatures power four more or just being strong. So this goes fairly. I would say fairly high. It goes much higher than I think he said 1.5.
yeah,
Yeah, I think this is a 2.5. Could possibly be a three in the right build, but as a standalone, this is a 2.5. A 3 mana 4/3. I can block fairly well. I can decent survivability. Sure, the three damage stuff can kick me out of there, but my four damage stuff can allow me to kick some bigger guys out of there too, and I'll give you a card. You know, like I'll give you a chance to get some, not necessarily card advantage, give a discard a card, but go and look for answers or something that you may need. So
it might
I
go up on my radar. It's just initially this isn't what I want. It's not a May ability, so I don't want to be forced into doing it. That's my issue. I, g- but maybe it's not such a big deal. All right, so real quick. Oh, you gave it a 2.5. I gave it a 1.5. So that's all the multicolored spells. Real quick, I'm just gonna go over
Roll jet.
these like lands and whatnot. They got the Teamer land at uncommon, uh, Frontier by Bivouac. I can't even say it. They got Mystic Monastery, the Jeskai land, blue, red, white, Nomad Outpost, red, white, black, Opulent Palace, black, green, blue, and Sandstep Citadel, white, black, green. So they have all the major triple colors. And then we have a list. They got white, blue, blue, black, black, red, red, green, green, white, blue, red, black, green, red, white, green, blue for multicolored. I didn't read off all the names. I just you can see it for yourself. But anyway, they got a good number of these are all common lands here that are the dual colors. They come in tapped and gain a life, which is pretty solid, and it's gonna help you smooth out your decks. So, yes, Samaj, overall, what did you think of the multicolored lineup?
It's got me excited. One, to go ahead and play the set. It seems like the there's a lot of on the back end, so like it seems like games are going to be getting really hectic. Started turns 4, 5, and 6. Like a lot of danger is going to start taking place around those times. That's what it seems like. Um, it seems like a lot of these cards. Well, it goes without saying, a lot of this stuff seems very standard, not standard, very commander heavy. Like, oh, that's a lot of legendary creatures and guys I feel like are going to do great in commander. I think standard's going to get shaken up too by a lot of the dual enchantments and such that came out. I was like, okay, there's a lot of fun things I've seen that can be doubled and tripled up on. But as far as limited goes, I think it's going to be chaotic to say the least. The 2 and 3 color combinations, while solid players are going to get down there and tame them. I just think it's going to be really hard to figure out what's coming, even based off the colors people are playing, because it seems like they have made it to where they even the the factions themselves are finding small bits of similarity to where you can find that more, for example, Abzan card and play it in Sultai. Because they took like the Go Gary aspect of an Abzan card and just made it a Go Gary card and say, here you go. So you can throw it inside of that Sultai deck. Or they took that Boros card and made it very, very Jeskai. So you can put it inside of that Jeskai deck or that teamer deck. I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of chaos trying to figure out what's coming next,
Okay.
what's what's about to happen.
Real quick, Raguth asked, "What do we think of the full art lands?" Let me scroll down. I was looking
For
at
the
those.
drag,
The Dragon Eye lands. Those look amazing.
those are amazing. Oh, the foils would be dragon foil. Did you see that? It's supposed to be like dragon scale foils.
No,
Yeah, a lot of the foils will be like dragon scaled. Like you can move them left and right, and they'll have scales on them.
that's crazy. Yeah, I'm hype about those lands. Those are going to be some I definitely want to play. And as far as the set goes, I agree with you. Um, I think it's going to be really chaotic and limited. I think the 5 color sweats, us being a couple in our history, are gonna be able to have a field day if we get the proper lands to do it. We haven't gone over green yet as a color, so we don't know how good the ramp is gonna be. But if there's any solid green ramp within the first 3 turns, like a turn one, go find a land, put it into your hand, or turn two ramp or turn three ramp. I think green's going to be totally overpowered. 5 color nonsense is going to be everywhere. But without those things, even with multicolored lands, it's not going to be as powerful. Also, if we have something that says, hey, do this thing, put an extra land on the battlefield, those are the kind of things that's going to make this set even more chaotic in limited format. But without that support, it's going to be a lot of people wanting to play cool stuff, but not being able to and getting undercut by aggro players. So they're going to be
Mhm.
players that's trying to play the 6+ spells. When the Boros player was like, no, I didn't even go 3 colors. I went 2 colors. I'm consistent. I didn't have to waste picks on a lot of different color manas, and you're dead before you get to play your cool things.
Right. No, I agree, and that's how we've gotten around a lot of the five color madness during our time. So I definitely know there's going to be a route. This and it seems like Boros is in fact the particular route that's going to have that speedy. All right, let me put you to sleep before you try to do anything too crazy. Its game plan. So I'm excited to give that a shot as well. Of the cards that we've gone through, is there a particular multicolored card that you're like you feel confident? Even though we haven't looked at the rest of the set, is there a multicolored card you feel confident saying that okay, cool? I know Roar the Endless Songs for sure, but there are cards you feel like, oh, I feel confident knowing that I want to pick and play with this card. Like I'll try and build around this card to see what it's like if it's going to be fun.
That yeah, that's the one that you just named, the Roar of Endless Song. 5 mana, make me 2 elephants, and double the power of all my creatures to put me into to Teamer really, really quickly. Also, I think it was that Sultai card. I like that a lot. I mean, get a creature card from my graveyard that got there however it got there, and I'm able to just punch one of your creatures in the face. That's fun to me. I would probably run a lot of Death Touchers if that was the case, because Death Toucher's gonna die, but they've already got the value for real if they fought something. So yeah, I think those 2 cards stand out to me real heavy. And there's been some notable creatures like the one that token like your warrior tokens can't be sacrificed. That was a real notable card.
Hmm. I think that was Zergo, Thunder's Decree.
Yeah, but even still, I think one of my favorite creatures is the one you weren't really a big fan of, and that's Codus the Famekeeper. I was like, man, the way I play the way I like to run my removal, I'm hoping to run this out on an empty board, have them have answers for him in the form of removal, and they can't play it because he's indestructible. And now I'm getting shots on them and eating up their decks.
I can see that. And I'm sure that like once I get like I said, the black, green, blue combination of colors in the first place. I've got to play that more to figure out why they even enjoy playing that way.
Right.
But I will say that one of hey big girl, of the cards I think that I saw that I want, Zergo was one of them for sure. Um, Zergo, Eshki the Dragon, something. Eshki the Dragon Claw. She was really fun. The 3-drop Jeskai Monk that lets you copy a spell. Like
Right.
I think that's like my top 3 cards where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm excited to see these. Let me build around these. Yeah, you just passed her. The grappler.
What color? What he's at the uncommon level?
She was Jeskai rare. You just passed her. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. Right there. That flame hold grappler.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
3/3. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Oh, you know what?
Makes me think of Mary Leona from Black Clover.
Yes, yes. And since you came back up, that siege breaker to the left, the Mardu card,
Right.
really want to that exile a card, and then every time I attack, create a token copy of it. And yeah, Mardu seems so much fun right now. Like Mardu seems so much fun.
What's his name? Raguth says they like the wind card. Was that on down here? Yeah, this wind. No, I'm guessing they're talking about Wind Crag Siege. Attacking causes a triggered ability an additional time or make a goblin token. But yeah, overall, I think the set's gonna at least be fun and interesting from what I'm seeing so far. I'm very happy to have been able to go over the multicolored cards for the set. And that was a strong 3 or so hours just for the multicolored cards. Um, I would hope to get through the monocolored cards a little bit faster, but we just have to see. I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow, and soon enough, this upcoming weekend is gonna be pre-release, and there's gonna be time for the set. So think Smudge had to go do some things with the fam. I'm really, appreciative to him for coming in today, hopping into Discord and helping discuss some of these cards. I appreciate all the follows today and the support. Raguth had another follow earlier. I had to scroll back up, but yeah, I appreciate everyone that supports the stream and whatnot. If you enjoy my content, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. I'm here on Twitch, twitch.tv/ Mr. Clintastik, but I'm also on YouTube and Facebook and Discord. We're gonna start tuning up some things and getting some more discussions going, and really try to help people push during the limited season and start breaking into ranks like plat and diamond and mythic. So once again, if you enjoy my content, like, follow, subscribe. As always, you guys are fantastic. My name is Mr. Clintastik. We will catch you guys next time.
Peace.